just going in.
Oh man, I've done that raw dog before. It fucking wrecks, man.
No lube or anything.
Oh
damn.
Oh, hi everybody.
Hey.
Hey. It says we got 0 viewers.
Yay!
Isn't that great?
Just like Doctor Who.
Just like Doctor Who. I wonder if it's public. Hang on. I'm pretty sure I made this public, but maybe I didn't. I saw it in the chat. There. Okay, now we have 1,000 viewers. It went from 0 to, there you go. Hi. That fucking sucked. That was a waste of time. That was written by a 14-year-old off her Adderall. And it was contrived storytelling at its finest, and Chris Chibnall cannot finish. So I used to say this joke about J.J. Abrams, but I'll say it about Chris Chibnall. His wife must be the most unsatisfied person on the planet.
Yeah. This guy's never made a woman come in alive.
No. Never. Yes.
He hasn't. Look, we're watching proof. We're watching proof. It's all start and no finish. Well, it's not even start, to be honest with you. It's all, hey, I'm totally going to do you. Oh, I'm going to do you. Oh, I'm going to totes do you. I'm going to do you so many different ways. Oh, you're going to love what I do.
Yep.
14-year-old virgin.
Yeah.
Can I ask? I have a question. Did they put the universe back together?
No.
From what I could see, the doctor talked to Time, who was the doctor. There were a lot of doctors, and it just kind of ended.
Yeah, the doctor got restored, but the universe that's obliterated, and so is our solar system. And just to point out some sciencey stuff, our planet would not do very well without the other planets in the solar system. Wouldn't do very well. So, it's fucking dumb.
Because what didn't Tectayun say in the last episode, that the Earth was the final point of the flux? So technically, the whole universe is destroyed apart from Earth.
Yep, there's no Daleks.
According to Tectayun.
But apparently,
you don't need the sun.
But then this week, they said that the final point was Atropos.
I believe last week they said that the Earth was protected. Then I believe the Earth was going to be destroyed.
Yep.
Then the Earth was going to be the epicenter of the explosion. Yeah, brilliant writing. I'm like, just the writing craftsmanship just blows me away.
It's it's a kid, it's a big crayon, it's a piece of white paper, and it's that.
Yeah.
That's the plot.
Jackson Pollocking the shit all over that script, except I guess his stuff is supposed to make sense, although I've never made sense of it. I lost track of my notes, but I took very extensive notes.
Hey, my notes.
I got 5 points.
Fucking well. Hey, is one of them that Yaz is amazing?
Yes, that was right off the bat. Although we expected that. So yes, Yaz is amazing. But who was hoping that Yaz and the Doctor were going to make out at the end? Because that's obviously where they were headed until Dan cock-blocked, and we were left wondering.
Isn't Diane just a horrible piece of shit human being? She right, because it wasn't his fault. Well, first of all, she was the dumb bitch that decided to wait for him outside a fucking haunted house instead of in town where you're meant to be having drinks. Secondly, he was kidnapped by the doggy poo at the time. Thirdly, when she was inside the fucking passenger, she realized that shenanigans was going on. Fourthly, when she was released, she could see all that was happening in regards to the flux and the destruction and what Dan was involved with and all this kind of stuff. And then at the end of it, she's like, nah, I'm not going to go on that date with you because you know what? You stood me up, and even though you had an excuse, maybe next time you won't have an excuse. Fuck you, bitch! Dan, you deserve better. I mean, you don't because you're a fucking retard, but you definitely deserve better than her.
Well, she figured it all out with the passenger. All those species, all those advanced species. It was the museum tourer or curator that figured out the passenger by digging a hole.
Yeah, but Diane said all the other people are gone.
Yeah.
Diane's the doctor.
Where?
Well, see, no, exactly. And then they left her because she was insignificant. So we can show that handy capable people are handy capable. Good for them. That we knew that. But thanks, Dr. Who, for telling us that.
No, it was hinted at that she's more than she appears apparently in Chib's land. So my prediction is that she's one of the 25,000 former doctors.
Probably at this point. Which ended up being a big red herring. And of course, they're going to save it for the last 5 minutes of 2 episodes from now. And they did wrap everything up in the last 5 minutes. We had 3 doctors running around at one point.
But the regeneration energy would have produced the arm. And even if the arm, so, you know, because she's that way from birth.
Well,
so
now
no,
they would have they will have the doctor regenerate in somebody. Yeah, like, hey, we have people in wheelchairs in Star Trek in the when we can make new bodies. We have trans people in Star Trek. When you can just become a woman, you could probably step into a transporter and just go female phase and just
not called a transporter for nothing
as a woman, like who could actually give birth. That kind of woman.
I missed the trans era of STD. I'd stopped watching by that point. I have not seen anything past the first episode of season 3.
Good for you. I saw the first episode of this season of Star Trek Discovery, and because I was reviewing Doctor at the same time, I'm like, I'm just gonna wait until it's done, and then I'll go back to it. I can only do one of these at a time, especially after watching Hawkeye and then Santa Inc. last night. Got 4 episodes in, and
how was that?
It's terrible. It's I mean, but like Sausage Party was terrible. Like, and it's worse than Sausage Party. And it's just hateful. That's all it is. It's pure hate. It's everything that's wrong with Hollywood is encapsulated into that little animated Christmas story. I
saw Drinker's video. I saw Gundam's video, and yeah. It looks fucking awful. You'd think it was a parody, but you'd think everything is a parody now.
Entertainment
That's why I hate everything.
Should not be this bad. Like, what's the interesting thing is even the proponents of this show of the first female doctor played by Jodie Whittaker, who we will lovingly call Dr. Karen, they can't back it. They can't make a video convincing anybody that this is good because it's not. I mean, it's objectively awful. Everybody knows it, but it is interesting to see the BBC and others play out like people like the show, like it's popular. I'm sure the ratings are going to be fantastic this week. They didn't even post American ratings, and maybe they're late, but I checked a couple days ago. I didn't check yesterday, but they didn't even post the US ratings because they're pointless.
Do you know the way that Chibnall's cliffhangers are resolved in seconds in the next episode?
Oh yeah, remember the Power of 3?
Oh yeah.
Oh fuck. Like that was the worst of the worst of it getting wrapped up.
I don't know. I think I'm gonna touch you and erase you from time and space, Doctor, and then having the Doctor just literally move 2 steps to her left.
That was hilarious. Yes.
Damn it! I've missed. Oh.
So the editing was so choppy at the beginning of this episode. They're doing the last week, and then they just jump right into the episode, and yeah, it's the Doctor going, what if I run away like a duck, quack 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 quack, and they're like, Swarm just stands there going, I'll get you next time, Doctor.
Even though the next time we get to, they don't kill her, they just, because they must have read the script, because they were like, oh, I'm gonna raise you from time, then doesn't, and then they get her again because it splits into 3, and then they don't do anything with that one at all apart from just stand by Tection's console and talk. I nearly fell asleep during this episode.
Yeah,
I was watching it in bed and I nearly fell asleep.
No, it's pointless to even go over. It's like it was just a bunch of contrived shit. There was a scene where Sontarans eat chocolate. They had.
Oh my god!
Oh, that yeah. I did get a slight chuckle out of the Rutens line. That was it. And the funny thing is, most of the production team probably has no idea what he was referring to.
They don't. And
although I've noticed a first here that I've never actually seen before, which shows that they've completely lost the plot. So that certain forum whose name I won't mention, I think this is the first time I've seen 1 out of 10 as the leading vote. At 20% with 84 votes. I'd rather listen to a tape loop of leaf blower noise. So literally on this forum, although I'm sure you all know which one I'm talking about, I have never seen, not in the 16 years since the show came back, 1 out of 10. And this is controlled by the J-bots, Jody stands, whatever we call them now. This is actually kind of funny. They're still trying to defend it, though. It's this person says it's a triumph. Amazing end to the series. Could you back that up?
Come on.
I need to watch that again. Just what I wanted, really. Very solid for the whole story.
Just what I wanted. Let's see. They didn't repair the universe. The Doctor got rid of the fob watch. Vinder and Bell ended up being just nothing.
Yeah, they were nothing throughout the whole series. Like Vinder is the most pointless character in the history of the show, and he's up against Yaz in the same series. There was, other than the BBC's little box ticking quota system, there was no reason whatsoever for him to be there. But apparently, they're having a pet rock or whatever that thing is.
Yeah, whatever the baby is, it's not the Doctor, it's the pet rock, whatever the hell it is. Grand Serpent. What's the point of him?
None.
None?
There's no point to anything this entire series. I'm still mystified because the first season of Broadchurch is actually good. At this point, I'm convinced that Chibs had somebody ghostwriting that with him, because he had 6 episodes. You know, even a partially competent writer could have come up with something. He has 6 episodes. He had just a basic idea. Okay, the toilet flux, we're going to destroy the universe. And it's a bunch of random characters, a bunch of just throwing shit at the wall, seeing if anything will stick. And none of it actually sticks. What I thought was really funny about this episode is he tried to pull an RTD and tried to make it the all-star episode of Doctor Who Toilet Flux.
Yep.
So you have all these characters together, and nobody gives a shit about any of them. I miss Graham.
Right?
I don't.
I just watched Journey's End a couple of days ago.
That's what he was trying to emulate Journey's End.
Absolutely. And what makes Journey's End work, even its silly little, I love the ending. I love it, fucking TARDIS pulling the Earth and everybody looking at the camera and the fucking TARDIS. Like they just stopped giving
the shark, but jumps the shark in a fun way.
But I liked it, and it's because all those fucking characters I gave a shit about. I cared about, and and that's the ability of Russell T Davies back then. I don't know if he's going to have to do something extraordinary. He pointed out something that I didn't catch, but I think you're right with Captain Jack's replacement in this episode.
Oh, he filmed scenes. We knew that he'd filmed scenes before he was canceled, and the narrative was going, well, how is the BBC going to explain John Bowerman being in Flux? I'm like, simple. They're going to write him out. The question is, who replaced him? As soon as I saw Kate Stewart and that thing thrown in at the end, I'm like, yeah, that was Captain Jack's part in it. It was, you could tell this was refilmed at the last minute.
John Barrowman dodged a bullet. That's all I'm gonna say.
By the way, what happened to Claire's weeping angel?
They forgot.
Oh, well, no, it got caught by Tech Tayun, and for some reason, when they threw up that image of the angel being caught, that wasn't an angel, even though every image of an angel can be an angel. But then Tech Tayun died unceremoniously, which I had.
Yeah, that was random.
That was stupid.
dropping Kate back into current time, Kate couldn't have possibly known the Doctor in the first episode.
There were parts in this episode where I checked out, but did they even really do an introduction? I was expecting, oh, you're a woman now or something. I know she said she likes this version of the Doctor at the end, but
of course she does. It's got a fucking vagina.
No, we're just walking around like going, oh yeah, I mean, like totally just changing into a woman's totally normal. It's fine. And why make a big deal out of it? Because the show's dead at this point. It's such a failed experiment.
And there's a really interesting comparison, I thought, with the Timeless Children. At the end of the Timeless Children, remember how the Doctor let Sebastian die? Let Sebastian take the bomb off her so she could run away like a coward, and he died. And then in this episode, Kevin McNally goes and saves Kate and sacrifices himself for Kate. So heroicism seems to be on people that they like to kill off. Maybe they thought if we don't kill this guy off, then the TARDIS might be a little bit too white. You know, 2 white men in one point of time in Doctor Who might cause a fucking catastrophe or some kind. But to kill his character off, so kind of, I don't know. He was the only person in this whole thing I liked.
Yeah, I just felt like they had to kill off a white guy as part of the quota.
Well, it's ridiculous. If you look at the end of the episode, after I called him Professor Sniggly Fritz in my video, but I give everybody nicknames. No, if you look at the end of it, it's actually kind of ridiculous because you got the one white guy, which is Dan, and everybody else on that screen, all 6 or whatever it was of them, except for maybe the dog, was a checkbox.
Stunning and brave.
Everything's stunning and brave, and the dog was there. Oh yeah, and we forgot the revelation. The dog apparently used to be fake Doctor's companion at some point.
Yeah. And you know what? That'll come into play in the last 5 minutes of the final episode.
Do you know some guy? No. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say this is never going to come back again.
What the fuck? Hang on. I froze up for a second there.
Okay.
I was going to try to share something, but I guess I can't. Oh my God. I got my new computer and I haven't even had a chance to open it. I'm opening it today.
Again, you gave up on the old computer?
This one is going back to the makers, and they're going to send me back a good one, or they're going to pay me back. I wanted to really share Az's reaction to the end of Timeless Children that was shared up earlier.
Oh, I'm trying to try and grab that.
So what were you saying again, Az? I'm sorry before I interrupt.
I don't think they will. I don't think it's going to come back. I don't think it's going to come back at all. About Dogma and probably the last we've seen of him.
You might be right. You might be right. I'm not going to deny that at all. Here we go.
Well, there we go. Credits roll. That was a load of fucking shit. Well,
well
that
said.
was the day that Gary and Az met.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was. By the way, hi everyone.
Oh, hello.
I should announce my guests here. I'm Gary from Nerdrotic. We have over there, we have Az from Heel versus Babyface, and then down here we have currently Bowles Trek. And yeah, we've all got like history with this show. Bowles Trek was calling it out before I was. He and Dave Cullen were the two I noticed. And then Dave Cullen shouted out Bowles Trek and I one day. I'll never forget that day. You sent me a message. And I'm like, what?
I choked on my soup.
Yeah, the guy I've been watching for years, like shouted my channel out. What the fuck? And then through all this craziness, I met some British American guy named Az through Bowles Trek on our Timeless Children finale stream.
I officially run a dating service, so come to me for all your lovers' needs.
It's like, yeah, YouTube, Tinder, or whatever.
18 months later, we're still together.
Yeah.
Aw, we need to get you guys a card.
We should. We should. And all it cost us was our favorite fucking show.
Yeah.
And that's the saddest part of this. I was watching, it was after that real BBC we were just talking about. We were gushing over Doctor Who, and it kind of, I don't know, lit something. And I've been watching a lot of Doctor Who lately. Classic, New Who, or I'll call it classic New Who, because you got to definitely separate the good New.
They're two completely separate things now.
Yeah, it's just this doesn't look anything. You got a TARDIS in there. Okay, that's about it. The TARDIS interior sucks. They don't spend a ton of time in there, which is good, I guess. Although we almost have
literally massive dick.
Yeah, it's got a giant dick. It's a dead spider on its back with a boner. That's what it looks like. That goes up and down. Remember that toy that they didn't put the surrounding things, and they're all, here's the TARDIS console, and it's like a buttercock. Like, what the hell?
The golden phallus.
The golden phallus of the TARDIS. Yeah, and it's sad, and I don't know how Russell T Davies fixed it. If he wants to whip his dick out, you bring John Barrowman back for one. Say fuck everybody and bring John Barrowman back. Speaking of whipping your dick out.
Yeah, speaking of, yeah.
Yeah. Because he's a huge part of this, and it'd be great to see him interact with 10 again. But the thing is, I just can't get excited for a 60th that's going to have the first female doctor played by Jodie Whittaker, who we will lovingly call Dr. Karen. And I can't see her being in a 60th anniversary episode where she regenerates, unless she's not regenerating at the end and is in the 60th.
Oh no, her regeneration sequence has already been filmed, but nobody knows who the next doctor, hopefully real doctor, is. No, it's been done. She's finished. She's done her last scene, so they're just gonna, at some point when RTD takes it over, they'll pick it up from the regeneration sequence. So yeah, so Dr. Nasty will be regenerating, having no idea who the person who might or might not save the show will be.
So do you think she won't be? I can't see them. You think they'd leave her out of the 60th? That's really odd to have somebody regenerate and then reappear in the next episode. I mean,
there's so many rumors going around, and I'm kind of out of it because I don't give two shits anymore. But I still have rumors coming my way. And they're all contradictory. Some are saying, no, they've already filmed the anniversary. Well, no, they haven't. Something would have leaked. One is, well, no, they're going to have her film her regeneration sequence at the end of the episode right before the 60th anniversary, and then it'll be some kind of meta bullshit. Or some are saying she's refusing to even appear in the 60th anniversary, so her regeneration will be the final regeneration. I like that. The scene that physically shows her regenerating into whatever has been filmed.
I think this is the first time I'm actually going to be cheering a regeneration.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I remember the days where I would I'd be on Reddit all fucking day, back in 2015.
I remember those days.
Yeah, where I'd be interested in, like, hey, what's going on here? I remember way back when, even when the Matt Smith days, and just breaking that stuff down in forums. And, I never really participated in forums. I just read them.
Oh, I did. I was obsessed.
Oh, yeah. And because I cared about the show. Those were the days. Like, now I could care less. I don't care what rumors are coming out. I doubt. That Bad Wolf is not running Doctor Who, because Bad Wolf belongs to Sony now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I mean, owned by Sony, but we don't know how the operations are actually gonna.
They're probably gonna run somewhat autonomously, but Sony still has final say. They pay all the bills, which is probably all part of this deal, right? So this was known when they signed on Bad Wolf, and then Bad Wolf getting Doctor Who helps raise their value. Sony buys them. Blah, blah, blah. How does this affect it on HBO Max? Don't know. It probably stays on there because I think there was a contract for years. So that'll be interesting. American and Japanese influence on Doctor Who.
Well, we've seen the Japanese take on the Doctor.
What was that?
We've seen the Japanese take on the Doctor, especially Pertwee's. It's great. This fucking martial artist. It's great.
Yeah, dude, those were fucking some of the best things I've seen in the last few years from Doctor
And the
Who.
Cybermen look amazing in that.
Yeah, that was cool as hell. I'd be all for that. Yeah, it's gonna be. I just don't know how you bring. I mean, remember the lead up to the 50th? It was fucking huge. People were into it. They were excited. Like this is like you're celebrating something that just died a horrible death. I mean, just
everything it had working for it, it has working against now. Like the 50th was incredible. You have all this is all the excitement going into Day of the Doctor, but then right before they dropped Night of the Doctor and just put everything into fucking overdrive. And now it's the 60th. It's a dead show. This is why my argument with the RTD era is I have no excitement. I don't, regardless of what he does, I don't really see it succeeding because everything that the show had working in its favor in 2004, 2005 is working against it. Yep. When it came back, the fans still loved this show. You know, there was a nostalgia factor. There was, you had Big Finish. There was still a current Doctor around. People like me who waited 2 years from the announcement for the show to come back. You had the regular audience, which had heard about this show and came into this, what it really was a lightning in a bottle situation. You had RTD, who, regardless of what we think he might do now, those 4 seasons were absolutely brilliant. You had Christopher Eccleston, who, regardless of what we may think of him now, was a brilliant introduction. But what really set the whole thing on fire was David Tennant. You don't have the long-term fans are done with this. You've been insulting them. They're not coming back. The general public is sick of this show. By current standards, by the time RTD takes the show over again, if you look at it as a new show from when it came back, it's 18 fucking years old. Nothing survives that long in modern TV. 18 years is when the second Star Trek franchise, if you want to call it that, died. The chances of, in terms of casting the Doctor and something that really connected with the audience, it's happened twice. It happened with Tom Baker and it happened with David Tennant. Both lightning in a bottle situations. Your chances of finding another David Tennant now, I say, are remote. It was pure luck that the show exploded the way it did, and it was pure stupidity and hatred, racism, sexism, everything else that caused the show to be where it is now, which is dead. Like, I used to be as diehard a Doctor Who fan as you can get. And if you want to see my credentials, look back at a decade's worth of my videos before 2007. I don't give a shit. At this point, if I'm even watching when RTD comes back, it might be out of curiosity. I have no excitement. I don't care. So many other long-term fans, some of whom I've known for years, don't care. Nobody cares. RTD, there could be a scenario where RTD could give us another Matt Smith or say Series 3 or Series 4. Nobody will be watching it because Chibs and the BBC destroyed this show beyond repair. The only way it would ever be successful again is if it was gone for 10 years, but a minimum of 5.
Yeah.
But it's not gonna be gone for 5 or 10 years. This new era is coming back right after the era that destroyed the show. That's my rant. I'm still as optimistic as ever.
You had the BBC co-signing on calling, not only co-signing, originating and pushing the "you're a misogynist, you're a sexist, da. If you go get that, was part of their marketing plan from the get-go. Instead of trying to ingratiate yourself to the fans, no, we'll just call them names. And that's the arrogance of entertainment. And they usually are there. They are 99% of the time, they are the architects of their own undoing through their fucking massive arrogance and narcissism. They just start thinking, well, it's about me. We're seeing this with Marvel right now. We're seeing this. We're very early state. Well, no, we're not. We're well into Marvel's destruction. And it's because Kevin Feige started thinking, well, man, Marvel's around because of me, not because of Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, John Romita, fucking Frank Miller, No, it's me now. We don't need costumes. We don't need characterization. We don't even need the classic characters that have been around for decades that helped build this franchise. Same thing with Doctor Who. You fans out there kept it alive. Bulls Trek, as yours truly, everybody in this chat, we kept it alive because we gave a fuck. We liked it. It was fun. It was a really fun place to go. Like, to me, the perfect universe, the perfect mix of science fiction and fantasy. You know, we have basically the space wizard fucking flying around. Is he a god? Is he not? I don't know. Never wanted to know. And now we know too much. Now, like, I mean, just the fact that he's got an adoptive mother. Okay, where's dad? You know, like
he's a deadbeat, Gary.
Obviously.
Toxic.
It's sad, but books should be written by somebody on, like, this is how you destroy something good. And wow, it's in a long line of how you destroy something good with political ideology. And remember, they introduced the politics. We did not introduce the politics. I have never asked for there to be any politics in Doctor Who. And no, you know, being against genocide, that's a moral position. It's not a political decision. Bullying, that's a moral thing. It's a moral thing. It's not a political thing. Okay. So it's to use this excuse, so it's always been political, and then conflate, you know, certain issues that aren't political issues, they're moral issues, is just it's an argument that they still try to this very day. And there's a reason Doctor Who appealed to everyone, absolutely everyone, a cross section that I've never seen in fandom before. Out of all the fandoms, Doctor Who had the best cross section of fandom that got along, that just enjoyed the show. Sometimes fans argue over shit. Yes, of course, there's a lot of classic Who fans who said fuck this new shit, and they'd argue, but that's normal fan stuff. That's like normal fan stuff.
Yep.
Not what we have today. Not what we have to. They don't like the first female doctor played by Jodie Whittaker, who we will lovingly call Dr. Karen. So they are obviously a misogynist, white supremacist, racist, alt-right. You know, what was the rewriting?
All right, Seth Rogen. All right, calm down, Seth Rogen.
Exactly. Well, rewriting Ripley says that we're something from Rush Limbaugh. It was a plan started by Rush Limbaugh.
Oh, yeah.
And Steve Bannon sends us all notes in the morning. You know, I get my Steve Bannon email, you know, like, hey, thanks, Steve, with our talking points. No, we're just fans who went on YouTube, turned on our fucking computers, our fucking microphones, and gave our opinion. And guess what? We found each other. We found out that we weren't alone, that we were actually the majority. They want us to feel like we are alone. That's the reason they make these accusations, is to isolate you. It's to silence you. You know what? Come up with a good counter argument. I am open to it. I'm open to a legitimate. You convince me in a video, in anything, how the first female doctor played by Jodie Whittaker, who we will lovingly call Dr. Karen, is good. Do it. Bring it. If you're so passionate about it, make that video.
Yeah, you made I can't remember if it was on the Real BBC or last week, but you made a really interesting point. The people who are against what we say about Doctor Who, they chase us. They don't create content saying why the show is good, why the show's better, why Jodie's a good doctor, why Yaz is a good companion. None of these videos fucking exist. They just chase us because it's the clout. It's the easy way to try and get some traction. It's the way just to become argumentative over nothing. Where is your proof? Where is your abundance? Where's your preponderance of evidence which shows that Jodie has done actually anything good to the franchise? Chibnall's done anything good to the franchise? Elevated the franchise? Changing the Doctor's gender has improved? Again, where is any of this? Doesn't exist. Doesn't exist because nobody can construct a well-made argument to actually support this. And if I wasn't a Doctor Who fan, I mean, we'll put it this way. No, I'll rephrase that. If I wasn't doing what we're doing now, streaming, talking to an audience about this, making a review and ratings video about this, I would have turned this episode off partway through. It was so garbage. It was a mess. Visually, to look at, my eyes, I felt like I was going to have an epileptic fit because the amount of jump cuts that the show was doing to try and go, hey, attention, trying to keep your attention while we're talking absolute fucking shite and absolutely not explaining anything whatsoever, but I'm just going to do some mumbo jumbo very quickly to try and palm things off. Don't think about it. Next cut. That was the fucking show all the way through.
That's the best review of the fucking show. That's great.
I think this was Whitaker's worst acting performance because throughout this, and I don't know what clued into, but it was so obvious. This she was doing through this entire episode, more so than anything else throughout her tenure, a terrible impersonation of David Tennant.
Oh, awful.
And you could tell she wasn't even trying to act by this point. She's just doing David Tennant.
Because Whitaker's Doctor doesn't have her unique personality. It never has.
No, and I think go on, Bullstrek.
That's pretty much all I had to say. Like,
I was going to say that I don't think she's that into the role anymore. I think there might have been some truth that like maybe she wanted to get out of it too. Maybe she's just.
I don't think she ever was. I don't think anybody involved in it right now. Well, we know Chibs didn't want it, but he was given it when the BBC told him he could do whatever he wanted with it. I think Whitaker has probably wanted out from her second day, probably of filming, or at least right after the end of series 11. I don't think she had any idea what she was getting into. And she has nobody to blame for that but herself, because she's made it clear she didn't watch the show. She did no research. Every other doctor, even the less popular doctors, Colin Baker comes to mind, every one of them developed over their tenure. Everyone really had developed their voice by the fourth or fifth story. Here we are at the end of her third series, and she's actually less developed now than she was during The Woman Who Fell to Earth. And you can see across the board that nobody working on the show gives a fuck. Nobody gave a fuck going into this series. It was just, let's get these 6 episodes over with. Whitaker was just calling in her performance through these entire 6 episodes, and then culminating in just the over-the-top David Tennant impersonation that we saw today.
Yep.
It's sad.
The whole series existed for last episode, for that little exposition dump from Tecteun. That was the only reason this whole season existed. And then we got the fob watch, and we're going to wait until they're going to bring it up in the, like, the festive. And guys, when this was halfway through, not even halfway through, like 10 minutes in, I almost messaged you like, I'm sorry for because I asked Bullstrek last minute. I felt like, hey, I felt like he should be here, because the last season, and I was apologizing.
You were like what I've been, because in case people are wondering why haven't I been on any live streams on any channel discussing series 13. The quick answer was I didn't want to watch this season to begin with. The only reason that I watched the episodes was because I had committed to reviewing it. Doctor Who for me died after The Timeless Children. It's like the death of a loved one. It was almost 2 years ago. I moved on. I've done other things. Watching every episode, to be honest, most of them, it would be like 4 or 5 days after it aired before I could force myself to watch it. This is the first live stream I've done this entire series. And because it's over, I'm like, okay, I'll talk about it at the end. Same thing, I'm doing this. I'm doing TARDIS Zone right after, so I can give my summation. But I was like that this whole year. Every Sunday, it's like, nope, I'm not watching it. I can watch it. I actually have 3 avenues where I can watch it. But it's awful. Like, it used to be, for me, reviewing this stuff, as bad as it was during the last 2 series, I could have fun making the videos because it was so over the top. I just got to the point where it was like when I was doing Batwoman, I'm just going to make fun of it. This year, I couldn't even have fun doing that. It was bad. 8 hours in hell per episode to make the video. So, but I'm glad I was able to live stream at least once, bring back the memories of the old days. But I'm part of there's so many factions in Doctor Who fandom. I'm now just ex-Whovian, but possibly casual viewer when RTD takes over. But I just, it's sad. I would not, without the reviews, I wouldn't have watched this series. It would have been a non-issue to me, like STD is now, to the point where it was 2 weeks into the season before I even realized it was on. But yes, thank you for having me on, so I can at least I can give a rant at the end.
Of course, I just felt bad because, like, I mean, like, not even there was no effort put into this show. It was just, let's write this out because the BBC commissioned us 6 shows, and we had to fill it in with 6 shows. And instead of drawing out like something, they just, let's throw everything at it to make it look like something's happening. And Az's description of the episode was perfect. They just threw a bunch of people in who didn't fucking matter, that you didn't care about, with very little connective tissue, and then they just went away. And somehow Dan is a companion now, although he spent little to no time with the Doctor or on the TARDIS.
He became a companion because he got dumped.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Dan spent 3 years.
Yeah.
3 years away from the Doctor. And he's probably been in the TARDIS and been in their vicinity less than 5 minutes. So less than 5 minutes of life, and then being stranded for 3 years. If I saw the Doctor again, I'd just be like, dump me back in 2021 and fuck off. You crazy fucking lesbian fucking space wizard.
Yeah, where's the bed that was by the console room? It obviously
they broke it probably.
Yeah.
By the way, the BBC, you are a bunch of homophobic cowards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you are homophobic fucking cowards. You want to gay bait the Doctor and Yaz, and you won't commit.
Yep,
you won't fucking commit to it. And all this fucking inclusion and diversity bullshit that you spout out, you could not commit to the Doctor and Yaz kissing. You could not commit to the Doctor and Yaz making some sort of validation of their relationship together. No, you gave them queer baiting eyes. You gave them a long hug with closed eyes. Oh, so good. And that's what you give to your fucking your homosexual audience. That's what you give them, homophobia. Well done, BBC. Stunning and fucking brave. Not that it would be fucking interesting, but you're the ones that call people homophobic. You're the ones that call people racist and all this kind of stuff. And you yourselves, you fucking gay baited them out like the fucking bullshit merchants that these Hollywood people and these television people always espouse. You fucking did it yourselves, you homophobic fucking cowards.
Well said. Yeah. I mean, vigorous scissoring. That's what we fully expected after that scene.
I wanted to see it. I'm like, you know what? Just do it, because
just do it.
Yeah, just get it over with. But there was it was actually Facebook Dan that sent this, but there was a photo that was released on the last day of shooting, which I don't even know where it is on my hard drive right now, but you can find it online. It's the Doctor Who production team.
I saw that one. Yeah.
So the one where it's the most diverse production in history. They got the gender right because there was a lot of, shall I say, unhinged looking individuals there. But it is the whitest picture I've ever seen. I believe we counted 3 persons of color out of like the 200 people that were in the picture. So you're preaching this, but you're not even carrying it through yourselves. I'm like, no, you don't want actual diversity. And you definitely don't want diversity of opinion. You just want people that will share your opinion. And most of the people that you pander to don't support your fucking opinion. It's, fucking fuck. Now I'm mad. I just made Az leave.
Uh-oh. Did Az leave? Oh, he probably had to go have a visit to the bathroom. I'm looking for that picture right now. So like a couple of weeks ago, he posted it. Right.
I should have actually looked it up before this because I know I saved it in a folder at some point. Oh wait, let's see. Okay, Gary, I'm going to send you the picture on Twitter.
All right. Cool. Thanks.
Okay, so
and
messages,
everyone.
Santa hat.
We have a super sticker for $1.49 from Mr. Butt Crack Media. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. He's a fellow Canadian right there. Lots of representation here on this episode.
Hey.
I don't know, and more importantly, I don't really care what they do. Until we find out who the new doctor is. Now, what we have a New Year's special, right? When does the next special air? Was it Easter or is it around the fall time?
I'm assuming they don't have a set date for it, but my guess is they're going to go with the 2009 pattern. So they'll do the Christmas special. There'll be one at Easter, but probably not at Easter. And because of the religious connotations of Easter, it won't mention Easter. And then probably one around American Thanksgiving. So that's my guess. And then there's one more special after that, which I'm assuming will be the next festive special, which will be when Dr. Nasty finally dies, and then whatever they do with their special. But yes, that's the picture.
Yep.
So that's your diversity at the BBC on the Doctor Who production team, folks.
I'm I'm snowblind.
It's like, okay, so this diverse, they want to be diverse on screen. They want to give the image of being diverse. But this shows the hypocrisy. So it'll be like a game of Where's Waldo? Where are the non-white people in this picture? I've found most people have found 3, not including Yaz.
Yeah, I don't see any.
No, I can't see them.
Yeah,
no, there's
3. Okay, there's one on the left.
Yeah, I know there's a dude somewhere on the left, but like it's just this reveals exactly what these people are. They don't actually care about the things that they spout. For them, it's about narcissism and it's about egomania. And it's a problem within entertainment, but there's always been an issue of elitism with the BBC. It used to be sort of upper class drama school elitism, but the elitism, which honestly, from what I could see, I think it seems to be so much worse in the UK than it is in the US. But the elitism at the BBC now is based on how progressive can you be? How falsely inclusive can you be? Every single person in this photograph is so up their own asses with narcissistic self-importance. It's fucking nauseating.
Yep. And this is what we're left with. And I said this in a video a couple of years ago at the end of one of my Doctor Who videos. I'm all, what's going to happen is I remember, I'll never forget Lucy Jones. She wrote an article that she basically said, all past Doctor Who was kind of, I forgot what the British term she used, but basically shit. And I'm only a fan now because of the first female Doctor played by Jodie Whittaker, and I'm forever a fan. And then she never tweeted about it ever again. And I made sure to follow her on Twitter and see if she ever brought Doctor Who up again, which she didn't do. And I said in that video, people like Lucy will be around for a couple of weeks. We'll be around in a couple of years, sifting through the ashes of our favorite show.
Yep.
And it's just there for some Twitter optics. That's all it is there for. But I personally just want to. I'm sure there are some lovely people in this picture that have nothing to do with identity politics. They're just doing their jobs as well. But I will
admit, maybe I will be nice and say you could see some are pretty up their own asses, but yes, some are there just doing their jobs. Although nobody is left from the Moffat RTD team. They were all terminated across the board.
Yep.
So everybody here was handpicked by the Chibs administration.
Oh my God, Murray Gold, man, Murray Gold. I was just like, just soaking up the greatness of his music. On my sound system, watching in my little theater. Well, it's not, it was pretty cool. Watching I got some crappy, it's not crappy, but I got the David Tennant ears on Blu-ray, but then I got rid of the packaging. Because they had a David Tennant set on DVD. Sure you remember this Bowles Trek with a little book. Well, I just mmade it. I just took the disc from the crappy packaging and made a Blu-ray David Tennant years, and that's what I was watching. And I was watching all the special features, and you know, David Tennant had like you know, he had a cam and he was running around the set as
Doctor Who Confidential. We used to have over here. Don't know if you ever saw that.
Love.
Oh yeah, no, we saw it. Well, you know why that disc was released in Region 1? Because if you look at it, you'll notice the discs themselves have the old logo.
Yep.
It was part of a. They were going to release the first 4 series on Blu-ray, not high definition, but upscaled. They put out the Christopher Eccleston release with slipcover. It wasn't promoted. It was overpriced. It didn't sell well at all.
Yep.
The reason that was put out so quickly with the flimsy packaging is they already had all the discs that they had produced. They didn't release them because they didn't bother actually printing the packaging for them. But they had lost so much money, and this is Warner Brothers who handles distribution in Region 1. They had lost so much money on the Series 11 and special DVD and Blu-rays. It was essentially to get their money back, and that because they are to release Classic Who, they are contractually obligated to put out current new Who, or they lose the contract. So that's why you're seeing things like this, and it was put out very cheaply, $30, even Canadian, for the whole run of David Tennant.
Yeah,
wow.
they did.
It was done to get their money back.
They did that 50th anniversary season 1 through 7 box set.
Yep,
with the comic books and the screwdriver, which I have, that used to go for about 3 or 4 years ago. Used to go for about $1,000 if you had it. Pretty rare thing. Now you can get it for pretty much what you paid for it initially. You know, the collectibles have just eaten shit. Like there's nobody cares. People are dumping their collections.
Well, I'm on the. I know some people are experts in the figures and the action figures, which aren't doing well. Yeah, my area is more the physical media side, but it's actually a disaster in Canada. Walmart and Best Buy specifically will not carry any Doctor Who merchandise in their stores because it won't sell. Best Buy brings them out with their sales cart, but for the most part, they had to send all the 13th Doctor stuff back, and apparently it was a big fight with distribution to actually get this shit sent back. At my own Walmart, well, we've got a couple of them, but there was one Walmart where they had a Series 11 Blu-ray set. It was the one that came with the little figure. So just as a little experiment, it had some dust on it. So the one on the front, I actually marked an X on the top just to see what would happen. It stayed there for 11 months.
Oh,
and
shit.
it was the same one because I would check it periodically. My X in the dust was still visible. It eventually went away, so I just asked for the guy, "Oh, you still have that Doctor Who thing?" I was looking, "Oh, no, they did a callback. We're not carrying those in store anymore." I'm like, Jesus Christ. So in my city of about 200,000 people, at our busiest Walmart for 11 months, nobody wanted to buy a single copy of the Series 11 with the action figure. Behind the one with the X, there were 2 others that also had quite the layer of dust on them. So that was my experiment. Nobody wants to buy this shit. And I'm actually concerned because I do like the re-releases of Classic Who with the upscale, which especially in Region 1 does make a difference. Is there going to be a point where Warner is just going to say, fuck it, and we're not going to get anything in Region 1 because of the loss that they have to take every time they put out a Jodie Whittaker set? Because keep in mind, under contract, they have to put out 2. They have to have a Blu-ray set and they have to have a DVD set. So that's every season. So that's 2 seasons plus 2 failed specials. So that's 8 separate releases they've been forced to put out, plus the 2 for Flux. So at that point, we're going to be at 10. And each special is going to be forced to get its own release that nobody's going to buy.
Right. I mean, thankfully on this, like the shitty logo comes off the front.
Yeah.
Like but it's still on the side. So I've got to make a sticker or some shit. I don't know. God, it's all over the fucking disc too. But these are
released the trailer for the New Year's
they did
episode.
I saw
the Daleks. Yeah, what?
No, they've done a proper trailer now. They've just released a proper trailer. So
they did.
It's Groundhog Day.
Oh,
it's Groundhog Day from the special 2 years ago. Jodie's first Dalek special, essentially. They keep going in it looks like there's a time loop going to that place where the Dalek was, and
Resolution. So they're
yeah,
Resolution, which I knew they would, and they had the Daleks in this episode, so I think that keeps that's enough for the rights. Correct, Bowles Trek? As far as I know,
once a year
they have to appear. Yeah,
once a year. Yeah,
yeah, it's part of the Terry Nation estate agreement, which they negotiated back in. Well, Big Finish had negotiated it previously. They have to appear on Big Finish a certain amount of times. RTD negotiated it in 2003 with the Nation estate, where it's okay, you can use it, but they make money off the Daleks every time they appear. I'm like, okay, if we're going to do this, then they have to appear at least once a year, or at least once per season, because I think in 2016 they didn't appear at all. So it's once per series, or once per group of specials. So that's why they're forced in every year. Oh, that's beautiful.
I buy these secondhand. So
you do the same thing I do. What I've noticed with the releases in Region 1, I think some people are just buying them and then just ripping them to get the high quality and selling them. Within 2 days from release, I buy them used off Amazon Marketplace. Usually save about 20%, but at least I'm not giving the BBC money.
There you go. And one of these is for Az.
Hey,
part of your
cool.
Christmas. Yeah,
sweet.
Dude. I got some stuff. Well, it's cheap. It's fucking cheap now. You go on eBay, you get stuff for like pennies on the dollar now. It's great. I got one of those. I got a functioning wand. The 10th Doctor sonic screwdriver, the wand company one. That's fucking badass. That I got it running for really cheap because somebody misspelled it. You got to look for those misspellings on eBay. They really work. Let's go to but real quick. You know, we're here eulogizing, and you know again. It's the reason. I think the reason we're all reviewing this episode is just to show you, like, this is what we said would happen, and it's happening. And I know it's a bitter pill to swallow for our detractors. So instead of just admitting, hey, those guys were right, we were wrong. And listen, if the fucking first female Doctor, played by Jodie Whittaker, was a success, I would say it. I would just go, hey, you know what? I'm against it, but people liked it, and it was a big hit, and I was wrong. I have no problem doing that. Move along with my day. But we knew it wouldn't just be that. We knew what was behind this decision. It was a political decision. It was not a creative one. Even Stephen Moffat, this is something they've been putting off for a while. They thought about doing it a long time ago. And they all probably, you know, I wasn't in those rooms, so I don't know exactly what they said, but they probably came up and said, well, this will probably fucking ruin the show. And, you know, that was before politics were even involved. Like, if they would have done it 20 years ago, it would have probably been handled, or, you know, in the first series, first go around, it probably would have been handled 1,000 times better than they handled it now. But I'll still say that, you know what, just if you know what, end Doctor Who for a little while, do a Romana show. That's all you needed to do. That's all they ever had to do. It's an established character. You could have done a million different things with it. You want to tell new stories, you could have told new stories till the end of time with Romana. People would have loved it, and it wouldn't have caused any of this shit. And they had that option there, and they chose this one knowing it would be divisive and then leading into the divisiveness. Instead of like, hey, we got some work to do on this one, and being understanding of fans. No, instead, we made an enemy out of them. And now, well, you've got people who were diehard Doctor Who fans, like lived and breathed it their entire lives, who are fucking done forever.
Yep.
Then on
and
top
raised.
of that, yeah.
And if you think the BBC is saying, okay, we might have done a couple of missteps. How can we repair this? Or how can we maybe slightly change? No. The BBC, I'll guarantee you right now, they're saying it's just a bunch of racists.
Yeah.
That's what or sexist, just a bunch of sexists, just a bunch of racists. That's all the BBC are fucking saying. I know people who work within the sphere of the BBC, and a couple of them are not like high up. That would be like overplaying it, but they have certain accesses, and they talk to me about stuff within the BBC, and they say the BBC believes itself to be too far right still.
Jesus.
Oh yeah.
The BBC thinks it's still too far right, and it needs to go to the left more. So if you think any of these attitudes are going to change in any short period of time, it's delusional. The only and I hate to use the word hope because, you know, God, I feel like a sucker. I really feel like a fucking sucker. But the only hope that I have is the fact that Big Finish, even though it's attached to Sony now, but still Big Finish is removed from the BBC. So it doesn't have the BBC, technically, it doesn't have that BBC mentality as regards to that. But unless Hartnell's the first Doctor again, I'm even with RTD, I'm done.
Yep.
I think they doubled and tripled down on it, and I knew they would. Last week they did it again. This week, we know it's probably during the festive special. The fob watch is going to come into it because that whole "I will never look at this thing" because Chibs has no creativity is going to last an episode, and it's going to be down to the point where the only way you can fix it is to hard reset everything since 2017. But the problem is RTD wouldn't do that because, my opinion, but RTD wouldn't do that because that would go against the diversity and inclusion and braveness that has gone on the past 4 years. And keep in mind, I don't know if you guys saw the rant that RTD did right after the announcement was made relative to, we'll call them the alphabet people. I'll call them the ideal, not the, and I always want to make this distinction. It's not the normal people that I'm talking about. It's those on the fringes, which are the only ones that we hear of. Those people. So RTD basically did a rant right after that. It's on YouTube. A few people have covered it, but no, he's not going to undo this because it would be disrespectful to what came before. I think he's going to try and fix the show, but he's going to do it within this narrative. And unfortunately, you keep this narrative, the whole point of the show is gone. From the beginning, it's called Doctor Who. Technically, should have a question mark. You've answered what it is terribly. There's no point for the show to exist anymore. The whole idea was we don't know who this person is. Well, now we do. It's as I call it, abandoned diverse alien space baby. Fucking hell.
Very interesting takeaway from this episode, by the way, when the Doctor was talking to herself, and we knew it was herself because she had an opposite color coat on, and she said, "No more regenerations."
And she also said, "I've got a crush on her." That was another fun. But the no regeneration things, we know that's going to happen because
it was Time that said no more regeneration.
Yeah, Time said you're going to die, no more regeneration. I mean, we know there's going to be another regeneration, of course, but but I don't know how that plays into the story. It doesn't. Yeah, I highly doubt Chibnall and RTD are working together at all. I don't think Chibnall's walking away from this happy.
Jodie they hate each other. This whole takeover was about 2 years in the planning. It was actually not the diversity and that crap, which was the big part of the problem. Basically the forced politics, but both RTD and Moffat were not happy with the timeless children. Although I think they're both stuck with it because you disrespect the stunning and braveness that comes before if you get rid of it. But no, both of them had gone to upper management at BBC, essentially complaining about what Chibs had done to the show. But no, Chibs and RTD, they hate each other. That after looking into it a little bit further, the quote in that article, "My hero, Chris Chibnall," it didn't translate well, but that was sarcasm. They hate each other. So at least
can I just read a headline to you?
Yeah.
As some of you may know or may not know, the Saturday typical Doctor Who slot, which got moved to Sunday to give Jodie a better chance to get her ratings, has now been taken over by Superman and Lois here in the UK.
Yep.
And after the airing of the first episode yesterday, and by the way, if you enjoyed the first episode, and you want more, you can watch the whole series on iPlayer right now. The whole series is down on iPlayer. This is the headline. Superman and Lois on another level as fans applaud superhero BBC One premiere.
Yeah, if you're in the UK and you haven't watched this show, could not recommend it enough. It's one of the few good things to come out of last year, and it like, hey, I thought it was going to be woke garbage. It's from the effing CW, but
it's from CBS technically.
Well, it's from Warner Brothers technically. It's
Warner Brothers.
Yeah, Warner owns the overall.
So the good news is they actually, and this is what's the most frustrating thing, is they said, oh, we really wanted to try on this one. Like that's essentially what they said. I'm paraphrasing, but they're like, no, we didn't want to fuck this one up. We're trying. And so far there is potential. It can go woke. Arrow season 1, I'll stand by it. I liked it. I thought it was
it. Me too.
Yep. But if it's what Superman should be, I wasn't a big fan of this guy playing Superman, and I like him now. I wasn't a big fan of the girl, playing Lois. I can't remember the actor's name. The lady. I think she does a good job. The kids,
Elizabeth Tulloch, Bitsy Tulloch, whichever one you prefer.
Kids who could be the most potentially annoying fucking thing actually work. There are moments, but it's rare, and it just treats it's a Superman show, and it's pretty cool. And considering, yes, you have to factor in we're surrounded by shit right now, and that has something to do with it too. But I would, if you want to watch something, that's the thing to watch. And it embarrasses all other CW shows aside from Arrow season 1 and maybe Flash season 1, and definitely Doctor Who for sure. When I saw that coming on next, I was like, yeah, at least somebody, and we'll see what kind of ratings it gets. That'll be.
Well, I was going to say, I'm interested to see the ratings, and I'm interested because it's Saturday, so I'm interested to see the consolidated the next week to see if people jumped onto the iPlayer and decided to follow this one up. But yeah, I'm going to be reporting on the ratings for that tomorrow.
Oh, good. And I bought the Blu-ray for season 1. I bought a CW.
I've thoroughly. I haven't finished the end of the season, but I will. But what I've seen so far, I've absolutely loved. And to have the OG Superman, like the proper 1938 OG Superman costume in it, was
Max Fleischer.
Yeah. Fucking amazing. The Fleischer costume. Yeah.
Maybe I'll actually watch it. I've been here. I haven't watched an episode, but everybody tells me I need to, so I may check it out.
If you want to watch something, some good things came out this year. Not many, but some good things came out this year. Maj Mac for $100. Long-time listener, first-time contributor. Be gentle. We're always gentle, unless we're not.
Well, we raw dogged this, so let's just be honest.
Getting a boomer knee replacement in the morning. Oh no! Be careful. Okay. Thanks for providing so much superb content. Love all you guys. Hail Gary, and all the rest. Y'all mods and chats are without peer. God bless the fellowship. God bless you, sir, and good luck with your surgery. These are very routine, so you should be. I got a bad story about it, but I won't tell it to you. I won't. It's a 1 in a zillion, though. You'll be fine. You're gonna have a good. Your leg is gonna be on this little thing that makes it go up and down. Little machine, I think. Unless they, I don't know. That was the technology 20 years ago. They might have changed it, but good luck. And yeah. I'm probably going to have like one of those hip replacement things one of these days, and I'm just not going to do it. I'll walk
on. Old darling.
I've been putting off knee surgery for a decade, and I plan on putting it off for another decade.
Yeah, my right knee's bummed.
I have a permanent limp.
Do you? Yeah, I got a jacked hip.
But are you just showing off now, Bowstred?
Yeah, I am. I'm old.
Actually, I got a permanent limp that's got nothing to do with my knee.
Well, no, I may have one of those too. I think it gives one personality.
It's not Doctor Who. It's now Dr. You.
And you're a doctor. And you're a doctor. And you're a doctor. And you're a doctor. And
it's going to be the end of Buffy. Everybody's a vampire slayer.
Thank you, Commandant VHS. By the way, I know I see what you did there with that name. I see what you did there with that name. But as far as the episode goes, total shit. Everything was a fucking giant red herring. It was mystery box at its absolute worst. He finished nothing. It answered nothing.
No payoff.
No payoff at all. The Doctor gets the fob watch and hides it in the fucking TARDIS. The Doctor meets Time.
Why?
By the way, I don't know. Swarm and Azure were apparently working for Time and trying to destroy space, but they fucked up, so they were ascended. I don't know.
Literally, you have to watch it over again. The whole ending of this episode made no goddamn sense.
No, it didn't. And then Time just went, everything's cool, go back, but the universe is still completely destroyed. Yeah. So how are there Daleks in the next episode? Because we saw the Daleks die.
Well, it's like I said, it's like a Groundhog Day. It's like a loop. So it's okay. There seems to be some sort of repeating loop.
So they're probably going to address that. I mean, they're going to have to address that. I mean, that would be kind of a big thing to miss, the destruction.
In about 30 seconds.
Yeah, but like to not even acknowledge
Chibnall, I just don't know with Chibnall. I really honestly just don't know, because he's so fucking dumb and his episodes are so fucking shit and he never pays anything off. He'd probably be like, next episode or next special after this one, they'd just be like zapping around a couple of planets maybe, and he'd be like, why are they there? How they're there? Because they're you just don't know with this guy.
No, it just shows how shitty of a writer he is. They didn't mention it like at the end of the episode going, the fucking universe is still destroyed. No.
Yeah, and then we had the between time, and then we had the other universe that the portal links to. Nothing paid off. Nothing paid off.
In some ways,
all.
He's trying to be Stephen Moffat. See, the difference is Moffat is one of the best writers. Not one of the best showrunners, but in terms of writers, he's up there with Robert Holmes. Like all the top Doctor Who stories of the past 16 years have been written by him.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with Moffat is he would write these over convoluted arcs that nobody really understood but him. The problem is you have Moffat, who's a talented writer. You have Chibs, and I don't know what the hell happened with Broadchurch season 1, but everything else he's done, the guy's a complete hack. So you have somebody who can't write, somebody who, from what I could tell, has very little writing ability, trying to be Stephen Moffat. So you have an absolutely terrible writer trying to be a brilliant writer with obviously no quality control, because the BBC doesn't care. And then you end up with this, a series of 6 episodes that made no goddamn sense.
Mm-hmm.
The one that made sense was the one that was co-written with somebody else, which was originally meant to be a standalone episode and just thrown into the toilet Flux.
Yep. Yeah, well, you could tell they had to put something together quick. It was filmed during the coof. Jodie had thankfully very limited time on the screen, and then like 2 of the most game-changing moments in the show's history, the most destructive moments, were just her standing around being told shit while her mouth is gaping open. And this is storytelling now. And then I get to review Star Trek Discovery because I've been putting it off until Flux was over with. And that's something else too.
And then Picard. Yep.
I hope there's something good. I hope hope against hope. Like The Witcher is good or something.
Don't put your bottom dollar on that one.
I'm not. I already know way too much.
The only good TV now comes out of South Korea.
Yeah, true. True facts.
Has anybody watched Hellbound? I've still got to watch the last episode, but I love that show.
Oh,
and
dude, you're in for a treat in the last episode of Hellbound.
I'm watching that tonight, but I'm like, so it's like manga. I'm like, okay, the West isn't giving us anything that doesn't suck. Well, aside from the Superman that I need to check out, but I'm like, okay, well, South Korea is now going to be the manga of TV. I'm like, okay, they actually know how to make stuff that's actually good, not woke and not shit. And honestly, watching the overdubs doesn't bother me at all. So I'm like, I'm just going to watch stuff from South Korea from now on.
So it's called, what's it called? Hellbound.
Hellbound.
It came out
Netflix 2 weeks ago. 6 episodes, but I still have to watch the last one, but it is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I will cleanse my Santa ink palette with that this evening.
The premise of Hellbound, because this is not a spoiler, but the premise of Hellbound is an angel appears to you and tells you how long you have left to live, and that your body's going to be dragged to hell by demons.
It's graphic as fuck.
Why
and then it gets dark.
But it gets really clever. It's really clever what happens in it.
Does the angel do this just for shits and giggles? Just goes, ha ha.
Oh no, you're gonna have to watch, because it's like that's the premise, but it goes into like the human side of it a lot, and it's really cleverly done.
I can't wait.
It gets dark, and then it gets really dark.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Dan C for £5 proper money. Today, we here are the true superheroes actually saving the world together. Hail, chat. Oh, hail to you. I appreciate that. That's nice. Hey, we try. That's how we found each other. Again, we found each other because they made us feel isolated and alone. You are a misogynist because you want one fictional character to remain a dude, or you were one of the ones that are going, hey, I'll try this. Let's give it a shot, and there's nothing wrong with that either. And even though I was against it, like, good writing can win out on every time. So a well-told story, it will get me every time. I'm fine with that. But that I just didn't think that was going to happen. Bullstrike, you pointed it out great in your video. You just said, like, hey, this decision's not going to be made with that. We know what comes with it. We know this comes with a lot of baggage, and they brought it all. They brought it all.
You don't have to have. I hate this excuse of the Kufus going on, because Doctor Who is one of those shows that you don't have to have massive special effects, and you don't have to have huge sets. You can create really well-written, compelling stories on a very limited budget. Midnight, Dream Doctor, stuff like that, which is done in a very small scale, but the writing was excellent, the cast was good, and you create these wonderful stories. So this Chibnall, I hate people that want to hide behind the excuse of where there's the Coof. Really, you have an imagination, and you have a character that can go anywhere in time and space and do whatever you want them to really do. The only thing that limits you is right there. And that's why people like Moffat are geniuses, and that's why people like Chibnall are fucking frauds.
Yep.
And the only bigger frauds are the shills that have been pushing for, and you would think after years of supporting something and it didn't help your channel and your audience abandoned you, you might have figured out that either you had it wrong or you were lying the whole time. I mean, again, convince me that this is good, that you actually think this is good.
No, they just make attack videos now because that's all they have left.
Yeah, that's all they have left is to, I mean, we're used to it now, but it's absurd to say that somebody who criticizes something for having politics in it and pointing out agenda is a white supremacist. I mean, they try to compare us with other, I won't say YouTubers, but content creators who are real ones.
Yes.
On BitChute and shit. And they try to conflate us with that when they know it's not true, when they know it's just a flat out lie, but they push it anyway to hurt our credibility, hurt yours in the audience. By the way, they go after you just as much. And that's the part I have the biggest problem with is they call you all kinds of shit for following us. Sheep, dumb. And they don't figure that, like, man, maybe we might share some, because people subscribe to a lot of people because they like to hear different opinions. And then
call us all names under the sun. Call us whatever you fucking want. I don't care. Write a fucking video. Do a video on why it's better with Jodie. Do that.
Instead of going for audience members, instead of you're right.
Keep going for the low hanging fruit. Keep going for that.
Yep.
It's
I
what
tried for years.
It's the only thing you can do. Only thing you can do.
No, I tried for years to go, okay, well, let's do a stream, and then you can explain to me why this is good. Usually I just get blocked or never hear from them again. The closest that I've gotten is I did do a stream. I won't mention the YouTuber's name, but I did do a stream about a month ago. Although it was with one of my own personal detractors, but this individual doesn't see the agenda, but sees issues with the writing. So kind of halfway there. So that's the closest that I've gotten. I've had a discussion with somebody who disagrees with me on agenda, but we agree that the writing is crap. But the people that are praising Whitaker, and for 4 years, like, okay, you're going to call me names. You have a YouTube channel. You've made videos where you've called me lovely names, and we all had a good laugh. Well, how about we do a live stream? So explain to me in simple terms why this is good. Aside from the one almost, it's never happened, and it never will happen. And the comments in the videos are always the same. Comments on Twitter are always the same. You're a racist. You're a sexist. You're this. You're that. It's an unending circle. The problem with the agenda. All you have is the agenda. You will defend the agenda at all costs,
or deny it's there.
Yep.
It's everything this show is about. The agenda has derailed the entire show. Even if a specific episode isn't like woke, like this one, there wasn't really any preachy woke shit, but the agenda prevents them from telling a proper story. For one, the reason Ruth, the first female doctor of color, existed was so they could say they had a black female doctor. She was a last minute decision. She was forced in there so they could say they had a black female doctor. It wasn't a storytelling decision. It was we need a black female doctor and we need to find a way to fit her in. That's not a creative decision. It's an ideological decision. Jodie Whittaker being a female doctor was an ideological decision. The way they portray men is agenda. It is anti masculine. We'll just say anything with any kind of masculinity is considered toxic masculinity now. If you're short of wearing a skirt right now and you're a dude, you're considered toxic masculinity.
Yeah, nobody wants to see that.
Yeah, and no, really, they not with me for sure.
Somebody just shared this interesting tweet from a couple of last year from Russell T Davis. This isn't quite so exciting now that we know 557 other doctors could have turned up here.
That was April 19th, so that was. Yeah, and that was about a month, I think roughly about a month after the episode aired.
Yeah.
That would have been around the time where it was rumored, although I've had it confirmed by so many people, I'm pretty sure it was fact, that him and Stephen Moffat had gone to the BBC. I wouldn't be surprised if that was actually the day he went to the BBC.
Yeah.
I know it was somewhere around April.
Well, yeah, because Russell T Davies still makes money off of this. And it's his legacy. This is his baby. So I understand why he's coming back. And I also know he's a very pro BBC guy. And I'm very aware of that speech he gave afterwards. That's why I'm with you, Bolstrek. I'm a wait and see. I'm expecting no worst, hope for the best. But this is his baby. It
won't be as bad.
It won't be as bad, but it won't get rid of Hartnell will not be the first doctor, period.
He better be.
If he's not the first doctor, then it's not Doctor Who. You're not writing the same show you're writing at that point 18 years ago. The show's done, and if it's done, we have 26, well, not counting season 24, so 25 great seasons from the original show. We still have everything up till Capaldi up to and including early Capaldi before the show went to crap. We still have all but the last 2 years of Big Finish that were good. So you know what? If the show just goes off and dies, that's fine. For Doctor Who fans, we've still got enough to last us a lifetime, and I'm perfectly happy with that.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Like the classic series has been off the air for 32 years now. I still love watching every one of those Doctors to this day.
Oh, I could rip through this all day long.
Yep.
It'd be great. They are just testing us, says Peter Davison from Australia for $25 Australian. By the way, good to see you again, Peter. I hope your mum is doing well. I think they're beyond. They don't care. What Az said earlier is the unfortunate truth. My guy who worked in the realm of Doctor Who no longer does, is said back then, and I've said this on live streams before, so I feel comfortable saying it, just basically reaffirming what Az said. They are totally happy with the editorially with the show. That could not be fucking happier. The audience is something that just needs to be dragged to their side, and they don't, they honestly, there is a mindset of, we don't want these Nazis watching the show anyway.
Nope. But if they ever lose the license fee, which I don't even know what's going on with that, but if it ever happens, they're fucked. Although it could, if depending on where Sony goes, since if the BBC folds, ownership pretty much will revert to Sony at this point.
I'm pretty sure that move saved Doctor Who, because the way the streaming networks are, the way streaming is going right now, it's starting to flatten out here. Yep. In we went through our streaming boom. It was very short, and now you're going to see streaming services have to affiliate with the more successful ones. And it'll be it's a hot mess right now. That's more
why physical media is growing again, because people have realized I can't watch this show. So thank you, streaming services. You were supposed to have destroyed physical media. In the end, you actually saved it.
A la carte is the future. I want to pay for this show. I mean, that's probably going to be the best way to do it. And the BBC is not going to be able to compete against any of this, even with the slowing down streaming services. I mean, Disney Plus slowed down, but everybody has. It's not just Disney Plus. Paramount Plus slowed down to a crawl. I don't know how HBO is doing. I know that while they were taking it in the shorts with their films, they were getting subs from them airing on HBO Max. I don't know if they're keeping them though. That I do not know. If somebody has an answer in the chat, I would be happy to read it. How would I fix Who? Paul McGann is the next Doctor as number 8. At the end of the season, he regenerates into a new number 9. Ignore all of New Who, says Chris C for $5. I couldn't do that. I love.
I'd love to see Paul McGann, but I think the opportunity for that has passed.
Such a shame.
It's and it has nothing to do with Paul McGann. Like, he's shown on Big Finish, he's up there with David Tennant and Tom Baker. Yep. If not in some cases, he's probably, because he's been playing the Doctor consistently, almost in real time since 1996. He is probably the best developed Doctor in terms of character development. Like, I would have loved to have seen it, but not after what they've done to the show. And not after what they've done to the franchise.
Yeah.
And Big Finish have also ruined, somehow they managed to ruin the 8th Doctor.
Yeah, I've stopped subscribing. I'm getting some older stuff that I don't have, just secondhand, because it's cheap right now. One guy had his whole collection up for like I think equivalent of like $1,300 US. It was up to a certain point. I think it was up to 5 or 6 years ago. Had the whole fucking thing on eBay.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even have room for that.
No, it was huge, and the shipping was a lot. Fizzenthorpe, good to see you, Fizzenthorpe, for $10, says their thinking is, look at all the new Doctor Who, Star Wars, Star Trek, Marvel, DC we are giving you, and all you can do is complain. That's true. That is true. That is some of their attitude to the people who don't listen. They're like, hey, we're giving you stuff. It's stuff. I mean, look at all the Marvel we've gotten this year. 4 films, 5 series. And there would be a time that I would have had a fucking geek boner for a year being excited for that. But unfortunately, I'm watching what's being made, and it's destructive. It's not just bad. Like, if it was bad, I'd be okay with that. I'm fine with bad storytelling. I'm fine with a bad, like, I like the shitty Ghost Rider movies. I don't think they destroyed the character at all. They were just bad movies. You can do stuff with the character in the future.
bad but awesome at the same
Yeah.
time,
Well, I
mainly
love the
because of
second
Nicolas Cage.
I fucking love this. That is Nicolas Cage at his most Nicolas Cage. But Hawkeye is destructive. Even though they're showing verbal reverence for the character, they're like saying, hey, we got a lot of respect for you. You're awesome. But he's getting his ass kicked by Echo, a woman with a prosthetic leg, who's deaf. And then he has to run from her. I mean, this is his own fucking show, and it's fine if you want to, you want to adapt Echo. That's fine. And her powers, for one, show her power set, which you didn't do. You just showed her looking at some shit, and you don't know that she can mimic every fight style. Doesn't make her stronger, but whatever. I digress. But the Loki did, what did they have to do with both Hawkeye and Loki? They had to make you think that you're going to watch a Hawkeye and Loki show. And they weren't. It was female Loki show. Loki was just following her around, and Hawkeye is a guest star in his own show. And Doctor Who is the worst of the worst. It's a bait and switch because they don't have faith in any of this shit at all. They don't have faith in the female character, or they wouldn't have to give them established male brands. It's inherently sexist. If you want to look at the truest meaning of the term, you do not believe women are equal. You do not believe that, or you would give them their own shows with their own characters and give them the same amount of money as you would a male character. And they don't, because they're full of shit. Bought Eccleston 2 Capaldi box sets, and I don't intend on buying Jodie Whittaker's, not even if it appears on Dollar Tree for $1.50. Says Aaron the Arrakis. Good. Yeah, because that'd be
you can get a good deal because Amazon Canada has discounted everyone by 50% as they come out before they're actually released, and they still can't sell them.
Somebody sent me Series 11, so I would review the season, and I did. I didn't watch it though because I had already watched the season, and the only reason I haven't tossed it is I keep everything somebody sends to me. Even like I'm not a pop vinyl guy, but somebody Peter Davison sent me a pop vinyl TARDIS. I kept it because
that's cool.
It's really cool. Yeah, so it stays.
Unless somebody specifically sends you a Blu-ray set of Star Trek Discovery to burn in your backyard.
Ah, yes.
That was my intro. That was, I think, the week I found your channel. I'm like, oh, this guy's awesome. He's burning shit in his backyard. Well, everything around him burns. This is awesome.
I barbecued. I got my little hibachi, and I barbecued some Star Trek Discovery. And those fuckers don't burn easy, by the way.
No, it wouldn't burn.
No,
you had a mildly scorched Star Trek Discovery at the end.
How ironic, because everything in that universe fucking burnt.
And I played Disco Inferno while I burned it too. So
burn, baby, burn. Disco Inferno.
That video is still available on my channel somewhere, or it's on Twitter somewhere. I couldn't put the music in for obvious reasons. I've been deep diving into Big Finish hard to hopefully get some new Doctor Who in these dark times. I started last week and they're amazing. I own 15 tracks. Eccleston's Return is amazing. Check out 9. Comic Quirks with Jimmy for $10. I haven't checked out the Eccleston stuff. I was afraid it was going to be woke as shit.
I've heard some mixed stuff, but apparently it's much better than everything else.
Okay.
I've heard Eccleston isn't bad, and Peter Davison is still worth listening to because around the time I stopped listening, they were actually doing something completely different with this Doctor, where he was partaking in darker stories. I think the end of my subscription, which was the second to last regular range, was called The Blazing Hour. It was basically Doctor Who does Chernobyl. At least as far as Peter Davison's concerned, the main range went out on a high. So there are some things that are worth listening to, but it pales compared to just the shit that they're pumping out, which is woke garbage.
Yep. Dark Eyes is good. That's a good 8th Doctor one. I could recommend pretty much, that
Doom Coalition, Ravenous.
Fucking everything is good from, I would say, 5 years ago back, 6 years ago back. Good, just go all the way back and you're good. Like, it's really solid stuff. The 50th anniversary one they did, the Legacy of Time, not the Legacy of Time, the Light at the End. Was fucking, I loved it. That was cool as fuck. So and it's got all the living doctors. It's got the 8th Doctor with like the 4th. It's so cool. I loved it. And it's I think Big Finish has always been a little overproduced. Like they don't really like quiet moments. Like it's just like there's lots of stuff going on all the time, which is kind of fun. But I like my audio adventures to feel a little more authentic at times, and sometimes it's just a little too spazzy for me. But did you hear that they're going to do a Batman the Animated Series audio adventure with the original voice cast from the animated series?
What, Big Finish?
Yeah, not Big Finish. It's going to be an audio adventure. It's going to be an audio, Kevin Conroy and everything. I like to see that audio thing. They're calling them podcasts now, podcast series, but the audio drama is making a big comeback, and I'm loving it. I'm fucking loving it.
It just depends what they do with it, because you know what they're doing with the animated series.
Making a woke,
they're essentially modernize it for a modern day audience.
Wait, what have they done to the animated series?
They are gone. J.J. Abrams is producing a new Batman the Animated Series with Bruce Timm. Bruce Timm is saying it will be more Batman the Animated Series than the original was, and I will do a bunch of things I couldn't do back then, including more adult themes and more progressive themes.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay. It's like classic Doctor Who. You can keep the animated series in isolation as the best animated series ever made.
Go.
And just ignore what comes.
Yep. Did you think Jody and Chibnall actually believe the show is a hit? Lord.
No, well, they only listen to a certain segment. So amongst that segment, I'm like, yeah, all the people and the only people who listen to love it. They don't pay attention to. They know who we are and they hate our fucking guts. But at the same time, they pretend we don't exist. Oh, if I have one claim to fame, it's that entire production team hates my fucking guts. So I could be proud of that.
Mm-hmm. By the way, that super chat was for $4.49 British from Lord Faudelwad Worsnipple. Chopin NZ for $8.99 New Zealand Hobbit money. There we go. Middle Earth money. The dog turns out to be canine, thus destroying another character. Oh, Mr. Butt Crack Media asked for a hot dog ass for $1.
What? Swag. There you go.
What is hilarious that Chibzilla thinks he's a good, nuanced writer. The amount of middle fingers being given to the audience is obscene, says 619 Wisey for £5 You are correct, and it's over and over again. There was even a little one in this one.
There's one this year that was so over the top that I actually just burst out laughing and almost pissed myself. It was in the second episode. Men like you are what makes me question why I do this. You reach the point where you can't be angry anymore. I'm like, it's so fucking stupid. Like I laughed a lot this season, and not for the ways they would have wanted me to laugh. That's the only joy I got out of it. It's so over the top now.
By the way, the Suntarans, they came back.
They came back.
Did. Really?
They did. They ate chocolate.
They did exactly. Yeah. Fuck my ass, mouth, and tits, man.
That was fucking dumb. That was fucking dumb.
That beats the farting aliens is the dumbest thing in New Who.
Yep. Give me Slovene any day, any fucking day.
Yep.
I will watch that shit over and over again. As a matter of fact, I don't mind that at all.
I like the story. I just the farting sequence. It was 4 episodes into the new run. I'm like, really, dude? Like, everything else is good, but just you're trying to be taken somewhat seriously here. I don't fault that era a lot, but I do fault the farting aliens 4 episodes in.
Hey, I was in London when they were filming that first season. Now I didn't see any of that, but I just heard from a friend of mine because I went there and like, oh, dude, they're filming like Doctor Who right now in London. I didn't see anything though. I was kind of bummed, but I was there around that time, running around London. Fucking great city. At least it was back then. I don't know what it's like now, but hey, you had a storm hit your country called Arwen. I was like, we're naming storms after Lord of the Rings characters. All right, that's cool.
Sweet.
Kenneth Dowling for $5 says, "Hey, Nerdrotic, I watched your videos ever since your review of No Time to Die. I enjoy your content, and I agree with you on No Time to Die and the direction of the MCU. Thank you. I appreciate that. And see, folks, always bringing new people in. There's always new people coming in. So it's important that what we do, and that's why I do it. I do it for it's fun. It's not fun watching our shit get destroyed, but at least we can mock it, inform you, and maybe the powers that be listen, or they don't. It's at this point, it's at their own peril. They've ignored the fans too much. Now maybe we'll get an overcorrection for a little while, and then we'll get a bunch of fan service. I'm not going to see that as a bad thing. Like Spider-Man No Way Home could be just like 2 hours of fan service. And considering the shit we have seen over the last few years, I'm fine with it. I'm totally okay with seeing Tobey Maguire come back and just having a good time. Fan
service means making things that the fans actually want to like. Fan service.
Yep. It's not a crime.
Once upon a time, it just used to be called a show or a TV show or a movie.
Right. May I suggest a sign that says traitor? A slow, dramatic turn, a little stab, and for the watch. Sorry, for the doctor, says Ubi Roy for 20 euros. That's somewhat proper money. They are close. They betrayed the fan base, but that was from the beginning. Ubu, sorry. From the beginning, they betrayed the fans by just hoping that people would complain so they could market that, and they could exploit it to market their show. And they marketed on hate by saying we were the hate, but they were the hate. We're just fans. We're like, hey, I don't like this. I don't like the doctor being a girl. How does that make a person sexist? We're talking about a TV show. We're talking about a fictional TV show. We're not talking about like, hey, I don't think a woman could be president. That's taking an awfully big leap. I certainly think women can star in shows, and I've given the alternative over and over again. But instead, no, they just went right to that. Longtime fans like Bulls Trek.
I even, before this started, I even gave an alternative in terms of casting a female actor as the doctor that wasn't Jodie Whittaker that I would have loved to have seen, but I'm still a bigot, sexist, Yahtzee. Yep.
Was it Tilda Swinton?
No. Although she's actually been rumored. No, it was Olivia Colman, but no, Tilda Swinton.
Oh, it's still a good one.
Well, she was she was rumored.
She's Broadchurch as well.
And she's a
bit Well, she was rumored to be. She was one of the finalists for the 12th Doctor when Capaldi. I wanted Capaldi, but I'm like, you know what? I could see her as the Doctor, and I think she could do something cool with it. And then the video where I've got probably the most hate is the video where I gave that scenario. This is a woman that I'd love to see as the Doctor, but I was still sexist.
Mm-hmm. And that's, I mean, we're here at the end. We're giving them a little, talking about our detractors. We usually don't, because fuck them. Who cares? They've got nothing. They just have to, they go after you. That's the thing. They're going after you, and they don't get they're like, man, why doesn't my channel take off? Well, because you're going after fucking fans all the time, dipshit. And by the way, mention us all day long. It's great.
We like the subs.
I actually have I have a folder of hate videos. At some point, I want to do a remix, probably hosted by the Talking Goat with polka music going on in the background. I must have about 50 videos in that folder, so I'm going to take the most over-the-top scenes, and we'll have fun with it. So, yes, keep them coming for my collection.
You want to know?
I think the record right now is I there's like a 7-hour hate live stream made about me from like a year ago. Oh, I had fun with that one too.
7 hours.
Oh
Okay.
yeah. It's since been taken down, but yes, it was 7 hours. 4 kids all looked exactly the same in the UK, bitching about me. It was quite enlightening.
Here's some enlightening things about the algorithm. You ever notice when you're on the Google or you're on the YouTube, or even if you're on a live stream with somebody, you mention you mention, hey, I like this channel, and you start talking about that channel, all of a sudden it starts fucking showing up in your recommended feed.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you. Cheers. Gary as Bullstrek talking about the timeless children. I can call it Doctor Who. There's no doctor in it. Is it March 2020 again? Also, is as necking a rosé?
Maybe.
Lord Faudelwad Worsnipple for $8.99.
Typical British name.
Yep. As keep an eye on BBC ratings for Superman and Lois.
Yes, we'll do. Absolutely will do. £2 British.
Randomized for $4.49 says, have you guys seen the Doctor Who Christmas advert? It goes through many images of the different doctors, but only shows JW 3 times. That says to me a lot. I'm surprised they did a Christmas advert for their New Year's show because they lost the slot. Oh, I was reading somewhere. There's some show that's getting 2 episodes on Christmas night. It is I don't know. It's some sitcom.
East End. Oh, sitcom.
Boys.
Mrs. Brown's Boys.
Yes.
Yeah, they usually still do Christmas.
Yep, but they're getting 2 episodes and everybody like complaining about it. And it's like, but you know what I didn't see? Anybody complaining about Doctor Who not being shown on Christmas anymore. Like people have stopped. They're like, hey. Doctor Christmas specials were fucking awesome. I loved it. I've been going through some of them. Az and I are going to do a thing. I put up my top ones on Twitter, and I'll bring it up again, and we can mix and match that and use that to.
Yeah, I made a top 10 list, I think, like 3 years ago. It's no surprise which one was at the bottom.
Yeah.
But no, I watch. I know a lot of people do. I kind of don't watch much New Who, but every Christmas season I still watch, not all, but most of the Christmas specials.
Yep. 2 seconds. I got Amazon at the door.
Go for it. I count The Unquiet Dead as a Christmas special, by the way, for Eccleston.
Yeah,
it's Christmas Eve when it happens, so
it's also like we can count The Conjuring 2 as a Christmas movie. Takes place at Christmas.
Yeah. Then Demi Moore's Tapeworm. Haven't seen you in a while. What's up? For $4.99 says, I used to be gay, but as scared me straight. Gary made me bi, and now I say goodbye. Hail from below. Okay.
Hail.
Still playing the part for Demi Moore's Tapeworm. The Craig Lee Lawrence Experience for $5 says, cultivated media Bulls Trek. All you guys are missing is the drinker. Oh, if the drinker's out there, I don't know if he was in the chat. He's more than welcome to come on.
I don't believe I've seen it. Well, was he even watching this year? Because I know he suffered through the last season.
No, we made Mahler do it, but I know Mahler has been busy. If Mahler's out there, he can come on too. But Mahler is watching this season and suffering through it. And I don't know if Drinker is. I doubt it. I think Drinker said he was done in the last video. I think he said
he said he actually said that was going to be the last video he's ever going to do. So it kind of makes sense. I think he's done. I would have been done too, except I made a promise I had to keep, which was to watch this shit.
Oh, I'm seeing this through, and I had every intention of being done when Jodie was done, and then the fucking RTD announcement. So it all depends on who they announce as the next Doctor, and then we'll know. I'll know if I'm watching the 60th anniversary special or not. Right then and there. So Brian Barlow for $15. Thank you. Good God. Last one, decorating my tree. Hail Friday Night Tights. Oh wait. That was a Friday Night Tights one. There we go. I read it now, though. I'll read it again. Ben Shapiro's TikTok face for £5. I pull the same face as Ben every time I hear the C word say morality is a strength. Morality is my strength. Okay, show it. we talk about a lot of morality, but we don't see a lot of morality from the first female doctor played by Jodie Whittaker, who we will lovingly call Dr. fucking Karen.
Well, you don't have to do it. You just have to say it. That's how things work now.
Yep. Laid art for 129 Czechoslovakian pesos. Rest in peace, Doctor Who. And I can't see your whole name. It just says the fabulously queer Rob. I'm sure it says more than that because there's a bunch of ... but I can't see it. For 10 British pounds, that's proper money. You asked what London was like today. Take the homeless issue of LA, add the high federal taxes, and finally add no-go zones for people who are not of a particular Eastern faith, and that's London today. Are there no-go zones in London? I know there are in Paris. Holy shit.
Yeah. It's some cities in my country are starting to head that way too. It's rough.
People are abandoning our cities. So
I live in a mid-sized northern Ontario city, and within the past 6 months we've turned into San Francisco.
Oh, that's bad.
Nobody will go downtown because it's been overtaken by tents.
Yeah, the tent problem, which is a recent one of the last decade, is particularly bad here in California. It is.
Well, they're building a safe injection site right next to the tent.
Yeah, that's why.
And the biggest collection of tents is right next to our main police department, and everything's gone to hell. So even the little Canadian cities are screwed now.
That's why I'm moving to the country. Gonna eat me a lot of peaches. Colored fart for €5. Hello from France. Jodie regenerates. Realizes bonjour, by the way. Realized that she, the grieving mom for Broadchurch, who fell asleep watching a Doctor Who rerun. She was never doctor.
That's true. Although I could say, Whittaker can act, but she can only do one type of role. She did Broadchurch fine.
Miserable bitch.
Exactly. Everything else she's done is like that. So she can stick to that. Yeah, she's well, I guess her kid was dead, so I guess you kind of got to give her that. But she never mellowed as that show went on.
On the donation side of the Streamlabs, circumventing Mama Susan Hoopix for $13.23. All hail the three wise men, Nerdy, Bolsey, and Az. Got on the fan bus in 1972 and got off in 2017. Can't see RTD 2 tempting me back. Jodie Whittaker on course for a lower average audience than Capaldi. Especially.
Well, they've already set the record with Consolidated for lowest rated episode yet. And that was for the least crappy episode of the season.
Yeah, but I think that had more to do with the previous episode. Because you notice a ratings trend that if the episode before was shit, then people who watch that shit episode check out for the next episode.
Yeah.
And then if they hear that episode's pretty decent, then they come back for the episode after, which is why the latest episode, not this one, but the one before, had a ratings bump. But that was really because of the one before it.
Yep. That's why Solo lost money. That happens in comic books. That happens in films. I think that had something to do with Ghostbusters not, doing gangbusters. I think 2016 hurt it. I think you only get one at things, and if you fuck it up, you fuck it up. That's J Almighty for 662. Hail, Gary, Az, and Bolstrick. Not got anything at all to say about this episode. The only thing I look forward to regarding this ruined show is you guys reviewing it. Hashtag RIP Doctor Who. You are sorely missed. Oh my God, the Doctor is. It really is. God damn, when I think about it.
He's been gone for 4 years now.
My kid used to take my phone, and then he would take my Doctor Who action figures. I finally got him a big bin of Doctor Who action figures, by the way, because I didn't know he was going to be into them. But he started taking my action figures, and he was watching kids on YouTube, like filming them playing with toys. So he did it himself, and I've got hours of video of him on his little adventures and stuff. And I've always got that, but it's a bummer that that's gone, you know. Jester of Roanoke for $2 says, glad you guys are watching this. I can't stand it even hearing about it. I would rather listen to a marathon of Mel screaming her head off or Paradise Towers on the loop than 1 second of Jody. Yeah.
Yep. As much as I hate season 24, and I hate season 24, absolute genius compared to anything we've had the past 4 years.
Big Prick for $5 says, Gary, please read this verbatim unless it will reflect badly on you. Okay. Chris Chibnall is a blight upon humanity. Despicable cunt, couldn't constrain himself to his own era. He had to go and taint the whole show. That cunt had no right to dare go near the past. Cunt. There. I read it verbatim.
Is this my long lost brother? I don't know. You know, that's the arrogance of it. Whether it's in collusion with the rest of the BBC or not, whether Chibnall said, "Hey, look, I've got a plan to explain the whole of the Doctor." Just the sheer fucking, the sheer fucking hubris of it, the sheer hubris and arrogance of that is the question which must never be answered, Doctor. Doctor Who.
You know, I know there's a lot of podcasts out there. Dan from Spacebook, Traveling TARDIS. I know there's a lot of that tried to stay honest, but they wanted to stay in good graces. They wanted to keep the fandom together. They did their best. I mean, I didn't worry about any of that stuff, and because I didn't tear the fandom apart. I just started speaking my mind, as started speaking his mind. Bowles Trek was one of the earliest who started speaking his mind. People gravitated to us because we were just feeling the same way. We did not destroy the fandom, but I appreciate a lot of people tried to keep it together as best they could. And it didn't happen because the show didn't have your back. They never had your back. They didn't want to keep people together. They editorially were fucking okay with absolutely pissing everybody off. And you're right, being Chris Chibnall being a cunt and just could not keep it to his era, his Doctor, because he knew people would just skip over it. They all knew. That's why they had to make this drastic change, because the past embarrasses them. So their feeling was, well, you know, it's not even take my ball and go home. It's I'm going to take my ball and deflate the motherfucking ball.
No, it's I'm going to come into your garden and deflate your ball.
Yep. Do you think RTD can fix it and limited damage control? Cyborg 100 for £2 British. He can fix it whenever he wants. He has all the power to fix it completely. Is he brave enough and strong enough to put up with the minute criticism that he will get for a short time that will be meaningless, because once you do it, it's done. And and when you get massive ratings, that will shut everybody up. Hey, Sony did it in a way. Sony did it with Ghostbusters Afterlife. They weathered the storm.
And that gives you some hope, because we know who technically has the controlling interest in Doctor Who going forward. So if there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and there aren't many, but that could be a light at the end of the tunnel.
No, very easily. You
that light could also be another train coming at us.
Exactly. That's
Yep. You say there's a multiverse. Jodie is just a Doctor from a multiverse, but she's not part of these regenerations, and you just regenerate from Capaldi into your next Doctor and you move on. The Doctor is born on Gallifrey. Hartnell is the first Doctor. There is no such thing as a fucking timeless child, and you move on. It's that easy, but they won't do it.
Could you imagine that it's not announced? We have RTD's first episode, and it picks up at Capaldi's final scene.
Oh, that'd be so good. And
that would piss off so many people. That would, yeah.
But
that's what I'd do.
It would trend on Twitter, and I think it would be overwhelming positive response.
Yep.
Not so much on Twitter, because Twitter's too partisan.
It is, but like Twitter can, the numbers can show up in the right way sometimes. I mean, like we've seen some of it. We've seen people getting ratioed, like people rooting for JoJo. We see people coming in and roasting the shit out of them and getting ratioed. I'm sure the access media will come out hard, but we could just say, why are you criticizing a gay man like that? Are you a fucking homophobe?
Yeah, homophobe. Well, the BBC has shown today that they are homophobic.
They are homophobic. The Power Trio, Gary, Az, and Chris. Fantastic. I heard Joe Martin's character was in Troughton's outfit. Was this true? Cheers. No.
Nope.
She's not in it at all.
How did that whole rumor thing hold up? Didn't seem to hold up too much.
Unless something's going to be done with it later. But I'm sure he was planning on doing something with it. The idea is she is the new alternate universe, Chib's universe, second Doctor. But like everything, it went nowhere.
Yep. Hey, just make an alternate universe with a bunch of chick doctors that you can, that's alternate, that has nothing to do with the Doctor, and then tell all the stories you want. They won't, because they won't sell. Like nothing sell. What have we seen happen to Doctor Who since she started? I mean, one of the first things that happened when she became Doctor was they closed down the Doctor Who experience in Cardiff. I think shut down.
Yep.
Toy production is halved, and they're just repainting classic characters over and fucking over again. We occasionally get a new one. They finally came out with Graham and Yaz, and I'm sure those are just, they're not selling at all. I have so many pictures of those things crowding shelves. It's not doing as well, and it's obvious. We were right. You guys were right. And they could have stopped this 2 years ago. They knew it was failing 2 years ago.
They're not wrong though, Gary. That they're ideologues now. They're not businessmen. They're not thinking with a business head. They're thinking with an ideological head. We will double down. We will keep hammering this until they accept us. And no, you've now posted consistently the lowest ratings of New Who. Congratulations.
I want you to try to think about the narcissism it takes for you to think that you are fucking morally better than more people, that you are like, I am on the fucking mountaintop and morally I am so much better than all of you. And I'm going to bring you kicking, dragging, screaming to my morals because I am so much fucking better and smarter than you. I don't go through, when I roll out of bed, I am willing to learn. I'm not right about fucking anything. I'm not convinced of anything. Nothing's an absolute fact to me. I'm just open to what the day brings. Right. And I'll give you my opinion on stuff. But it's not gospel. I try not to present it as gospel. It's just my opinion. Still trying to figure stuff out. I don't think I have all the pieces of the puzzle or anything like that. But God, the fucking just insane narcissism.
The day you think you have all the pieces of the puzzle.
I hear other content creators say this, and listen, I've heard them in all realms say, well, I'm smarter than you, or I'm smarter than them. It's like,
it's the new elitism.
Yeah. Anybody who has to say that, obviously you're not, what did Tywin say to Joffrey? I'm the king. Anybody who has to say I'm the king is not the motherfucker.
Yeah. Anyone who says they are the king isn't the king.
Isn't the king.
Broadcasting your own insecurities.
Yep. Some of my favorite memories of my life, seriously, of my life. I was watching Matt Smith as the Doctor Who. The Christmas episodes were incredible. They brought us to tears. Doctor Who has been destroyed, but it was great, says Skip Cole for $20. You are correct. Even the Doctor, oh my God, what is it? Doctor in the wardrobe. Doctor in the
Doctor,
the Doctor Widow in the wardrobe.
Yeah.
The very end of that is fucking great. That little ending scene with Amy and Rory and the Doctor, because they thought he was dead. He just goes back for Christmas, and they're just like, they didn't get mad at him. They're just like, yeah, we had a place set for you. We knew you'd come back. You know, he had a little tear out, and I thought that was awesome, man. I loved it. I like those that Moffat can be he could be a little I like the mushy shit once in a while. It's good. I love the snowman.
Well, when it's earned. That's just it though. It's earned.
Yeah.
Yep.
I thought Clara is like, it's one of the 2 episodes she's good in is the snowman.
Oh,
well, that's because that's version 1 of Clara.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh god, they're not the second.
And Clara
one.
got worse as the versions went on. Then you had a different version for each series.
Yep.
And then she got insufferable.
Then she was Dr. Clara essentially. And...
Oh, I was so happy when she died. I'm like, Bird, go through her. Okay, good.
But that death spawned one of the greatest Who episodes we've had.
Yeah.
So woof.
There was some good stuff. Like, listen, Bill, the companion Bill, could have been fun if she wasn't so just packed full of agenda and reminding us, not literally, but like subtly, not coming out and saying I'm a lesbian every 5 minutes, but like insinuating something that she's a lesbian like 2 or 3 times an episode. That got annoying as fuck. She could have been fine. But then that's when they started forcing in Capaldi saying the whitewashing of fucking history.
That's when things started to go wrong.
Like, what the fuck? And then he mentions Trump by name. And I'm like, fucking what is going on?
The BBC.
Don't
blame poor Capaldi.
No, it's that's always been the theory, and it's evident on screen. The interference from the BBC started long before the 13th Doctor, because Stephen Moffat had a specific writing style, which is present for his first 4 series, starts to disappear by his 5th, and by his 6th and final, it's completely gone. It was the BBC was running things by that point.
Yeah, I was like, this is the guy who wrote The Empty Child. Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, he was being dictated what to do.
Yeah.
Girl in the Fireplace,
Yeah, why he just wanted out.
Yep. We have a very Whovian Christmas. Krampus 2022 says Galen Hess. Thank you very much for the $5. I appreciate it. Andrew Dixon for $17.99 British pounds. Proper money. Just got my 6-year-old son into Doctor Who. His favorite Doctor is Matt Smith. I watched Joe's first episode and checked out only classic Who and new Who to season 10. I would say season 8 or 9 is canon to me. Keep fighting the fight. Love you guys. Thank you, Andrew Dixon. You watch whatever you want. That's just a recommendation. Unless RTD is a genius, he has put his head in a noose. Crazy, says Dan C for £5. What's up?
Oh, we already know that the big villain is the Master as well.
Yeah. They mentioned that. That there's somebody coming. Time says to the Doctor, I fix you, but you're gonna die. No more regenerations. Everything ends. Everything comes to an end. And there's the Master of some. So just a big hint that the Master is coming. And it's like, every regeneration doesn't have to be the Doctor knowing they're going to die. It can be a sacrifice of some kind, but it could be like, like Sylvester McCoy walking out of the fucking TARDIS and you get shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tom Baker falling off a radio antenna.
Yep.
Yeah.
Although he did kind of know he was going to die.
The moment's been prepared for.
Oh, I was just thinking about that. Was good. That was a pretty good impression there, Az. I was thinking about the curator for a minute. It might be right.
It might be right,
God. I know I talk about it a lot, but like, dude, the cheering, there was tears of joy in my comic shop. Like, people just went, yeah. We had to rewind it and stop it because there was so much screaming. And I was watching some we were watching some streaming thing on I hacked my way into a BBC stream in my store, and I'm like projecting it. It's like a 720p projector on a screen, and it was daytime, so we had to like block out the curtains and everything. And my store wasn't huge. It was 1,100 square feet. So we had 60 people just cramped in there, and then people at the door, poking their head in. It was a good time, man. James Bond is going in the same direction as Doctor Who, says Seeing Sights for $5. Yep. Oh, wait until you get that next Bond announcement. That's going to be interesting. That should be coming within the next year, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, they might give it a couple of years to settle. End of this era, but there again, this would have been a really successful move if it wasn't for Coof. So they might be like, hey, look, restrictions will get less and less.
It ate shit here in the States, but internationally it did very fucking well. But the movie was shit.
The movie was dog shit.
Cuck Bond. Okay, so we don't know when the final Jodie episode will be, so it's either possibly going to be around springtime, Easter.
Oh, I thought the final one for her is going to be this New Year's Day next year.
Oh yeah, it's she has the special and then 3 more specials, so probably spring, probably Thanksgiving, and then probably Death Scene, which should be next New Year's, which has already been filmed. And then maybe we'll get lucky and she'll be angry and not show up for the 60th anniversary because she doesn't want to be with a bunch of toxic old white dudes.
I hope so. I mean, have the courage of your own conviction there, Jodie. You don't want to be involved in a bunch of toxic white boys, you stay away.
Here's the other thing. I mean, that is another almost 2 years with little to no Doctor Who. There's so many things going against this.
Everything is going against it.
Yeah. It's why the casting for the next Doctor has to be so fucking strong and on point. It has to be on point and like, just for argument's sake, let's say RTD announces another female. I think it's over.
Done.
Yep.
I think it's absolutely over. The people like myself and maybe a few others who think like me, who've just got that little bit of hope, will just see that flame just go, and I'd be like, no, I'm out, because the apathy will set in within that time. Well, the apathy is already setting in big time, and I'm just literally holding out for that little bit of hope. But the whole Discovery, I couldn't do it. I couldn't even bring myself to do it. Not even for a fucking video and a payday. Couldn't do it because it's just so fucking bad. And I don't feel anything when it comes to Trek anymore. Star Wars, Boba Fett show. I couldn't give a fuck.
Nope.
I couldn't give a fuck. And right now, I couldn't give a fuck about The Mandalorian. I couldn't give a fuck about episode fucking 10, 8, fucking 36. I couldn't give a fuck about anything Star Wars related right now. Nothing. The apathy's there. It's done. It's dusted. And with Doctor Who, it's moments away from doing that. I've been living 4 years desperate for something. And I got a little bit with RTD's cast, taking back over again. But if his casting of the next Doctor looks like it's ideological, I am fucking done, out, over, completely. Leave it to someone else to do, and there'll be another fandom gone, another fandom that I don't have to deal with, and I can just focus on whichever ones I've got left.
Yep. I mean,
I've been raked over the coals because a lot of people haven't paid attention to what I've said, but not for every Doctor, but for this next Doctor specifically, it has to go back to what it was for 12 regenerations. You can experiment again in the future, but you can't afford to experiment right now. You can't. A lot of people have left. Most people have left because of the ideology. So unfortunately, it's not because I'm racist. It's not because I'm sexist. It's because this is your one chance to save the show. And unfortunately, that means you have to go with what the character was originally, which is a straight. Doesn't really matter if the actor's straight; it's not going to make much of a difference.
No,
but a white British male, and by saying that, it doesn't mean the Doctor can never be not white.
But dude, you don't even have to make caveats. You don't even have to do any of that. The Doctor's been a white fucking straight male since its inception 58 fucking years ago. And the very fact that it changes after 55 years, was it 55 years, 54 years, it changed. And people just expect you to fucking go along with that journey. When it's been, I've been following Doctor Who since about 1981, something along those kind of lines of my first sort of recollections of Tom Baker's Doctor. And I've had it all the way through the 80s, the 90s, now, mid 2000, 90s, obviously, but the mid 2000s, all the way through to the end of this year. And that is a long fucking history, and watching reruns and repeats and all that sort of done stuff in that time as well. And to just say, hey, everyone, let's get on board this train now. No, the train that I'm on is the train that I've been enjoying. It's comfortable. I like it. It's fun. It's interesting. I don't want to come along in your fucking sparkle rainbow vampire tingly woo fucking we've got everything train over there that looks like everyone's fucking high on fucking crack. No, I'm good. I'm good on this one. Thank you very much. Oh, you're a bigot. You're a this. You're a that. Don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Seth Rogen, a couple of days ago, made words like that meaningless now. Meaningless. You're just having a fucking teddy tantrum because we're not playing your fucking ideological games. I don't want to play your ideological games. This is an established character. You want to play ideological games, create a fucking ideological character that's brand fucking new and play with it in that pit over there. Stop fucking with our shit. So I'm sick and tired of making fucking excuses or caveats or this and the other. The Doctor is what they've been for 58 fucking years. A British, straight, white male that travels through time and space and has an amazing a bunch of adventures with a very organically diverse group of people. And the BBC just wanted to shit all over that.
What I said. Well, I think there's a way that they could have... changing the gender of the Doctor didn't have to be a failure. I think everybody here, we want the character to remain what it always was. But I think, agenda aside, doing something creative within the narrative of the show, maybe even just as a one-off, it could have worked if you had somebody that knew what the fuck they were doing and somebody that was free of ideology. I think as a one-off, okay, the Doctor's changed, the Doctor's a woman now, just come up with some kind of non-ideological way of explaining it. It's not where I would have wanted it to go, but in talented, proper hands, it might have worked. But the problem is they had their one chance, they blew it, and then shit on it. So I don't know if I don't think anybody will ever trust that chance again or trust something like this again because of what happened last time, if they're even given the opportunity to do it again. But yeah, no, it's I think that they could have done something with it, but now that opportunity is just, it's done. It's, you go back to what the show was. Hartnell is the first Doctor. Other than that, it's fucking done and it's not coming back. And you are going to have to pull off a miracle to get what I'd say is probably 80% of the fan base back. I'd say at least 80% is gone.
Yeah. I completely agree with that assessment. And I think 80% is the absolute, that is best you can hope for. And
well, how's it doing in the States? I know they were getting less than 300,000.
They didn't even report here. Let me go there right now.
In Canada, we have it on the Crave streaming service. Every time I've gone in, as the episodes have aired, which they get them every week, I haven't seen it on the front page of the site once. They've got STDs on the front page. Doctor Who is nowhere to be seen.
What are the ratings for Star Trek over there?
I haven't looked.
Okay.
To be honest, I stopped following Star Trek. Well, at least STD after the first episode of season 3. After that, I'm like, I couldn't watch it anymore. I haven't watched it since.
We had an uptick for the penultimate episode, ladies and gentlemen. Giant uptick of not very much. Here we go. This is a TV series finale. A 0.07, 18 to 49 demo, up from a 0.06.
Oh, Jesus.
334,000 people watched it. If you want to say, we'll say 600,000, maybe, if you want to count digital. This is across 2 networks, by the way. AMC, which shows Walking Dead, and the BBC America, which nobody watches anymore, and it's starting to be kicked off of cable packages because it just doesn't offer anything. Again, 0.07 is, it's the 18 to 49 demographic. That is 0.07% of the entire demographic, not of what people watch Doctor Who. So the entire demographic
really
is
sad.
Bad. It's 183 million people are in the 18 to 49 demographic here in the United States. 0.07 is somewhere around here. I could do the maths on that. Let's see, 0.0%. 193. No. Is this a percentage converter? Oh, I don't want to do that. We're just going to say it's like around 100,000 people.
And I don't think in Canada for Star Trek or Doctor Who, because the way it's going to be bad regardless of what it is, but we're the only country, I think, that gets both shows, both on regular cable and on a streaming service. So I don't know how accurate ratings would be. Although I don't know anybody that's watching it. And if Crave has kept Star Trek Discovery on its main page and essentially removed Doctor Who for most of the season, that should tell you something.
Yep. 128,100.
Damn.
That's how many people watch Doctor Who in the United States. Yes, it's on HBO Max, but HBO Max is nowhere near what Netflix is, where it used to be, and then Amazon Prime let it go.
Does HBO Max, do they get the new episodes or just previous seasons?
They get I'm pretty sure they get the new. Oh, that's a good question. Let me double check that. I know they get 11 and 12.
Because I know we have it in Canada. Doctor Who airs Sundays on CTV Space, and then Monday it goes to the Crave streaming service, or I think it's like Sunday night after it airs.
JT for 666 says, I would like to see the new Doctor see Jodie regenerate into dust, and it shifts into Capaldi watching the scene on TV and just says, bloody terrible.
It goes to what's he called? Malcolm Tucker, and he just goes, fuck is he by?
F star cunt.
Yeah, star.
It was all a Malcolm Tucker dream.
Yeah, I gotta watch it in the thick of it. I really do.
You haven't seen that show? Oh,
I haven't seen the show.
It was one of the last brilliant things produced by the BBC. That's why I was so excited for Capaldi being announced, because I'd seen that show, and he's got quite the potty mouth. There are compilations online of
I've seen
bombs.
Hang on, I'm looking for Dan's super chat so I can highlight it.
F star.
Perry put that together.
Oh, he's so good, that video.
Fucking Perry's so great. Here we go. Oh, look, I was watching Santa Inc. We're gonna go to Doctor Who. Doctor Who doesn't even come up when you on the front page at all. Nope, it only goes to 12. So you have to watch series 13 it's available like on YouTube TV or any pay service. Yeah, so it only goes up to 12.
I'm just seeing. Okay, so this is the finale of Doctor Who is on today. So I just went to Crave. So on their front page right now, they have something called Vigil from Stars, Dexter, some terrible looking thing called Yellow Jackets, some show called Succession, Santa Inc. Santa Inc. is on Crave, and Doctor Who isn't. Yeah, Star Trek Discovery's on there. Doctor Who is nowhere to be seen. So they have Santa Inc. and STD, and they won't even list Doctor Who.
Ouch.
And the season finale will be streaming tonight. That's bad.
It is bad, and not as bad as Santa Inc., which I'm probably going to have to do a review of. It's going to take me a couple of days, because for mental health.
I couldn't watch it. I will watch reviews, and that's it.
But like I know people have reviewed it, but I'm going to do a breakdown, like my normal type of review. So and it's fucking 8 episodes. So yeah, if I commit to that, it takes time. Thank God I've got a Perry.
Hashtag pray for Gary.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've got this review to do. I'm going to take a couple days for this. I mean, Daniel for $50 for Christian, by the way. Thank you, Daniel. For Christians trying to understand those who defend Dr. Woke, imagine any cringy Christian pop culture knockoff and how Christians convince themselves it's good and defend it. Quality of storytelling isn't determined by fitting your ideology. Indeed.
Right.
Indeed. Yeah, it's Doctor Who is everything wrong with modern franchises, with modern writing. It is the worst case scenario. It will go down as the one that was destroyed the most. It's not the biggest. It's the oldest.
Yep.
And there's more Doctor Who than there is of anything else, than of Star Trek, of Star Wars, as far as live action shows on television. And it managed over all that time, it managed to really keep their continuity was just loose enough where you can play with it, but they didn't fuck with the few major things you didn't need to fuck with, that you never had to fuck with, until hack named Chris Chibnall came along. And Piers Vanger gets responsibility in this too. And the powers that be at the BBC and the diversity and inclusion initiative, 007 Southpaw for $5.
Like the fucking Avengers Initiative.
The Avengers Initiative. Yeah, I could see Piers Vanger coming in, Chris Chib or Stephen Moffat going, "I'm putting a team together."
Very diverse. We need one of each ethnicity coming in.
As did the first season of Stargirl end on a high note? I remember watching your reviews and you pointing out good parts of the show. Was it good?
I the last 2 episodes, which I didn't do a review for, I kind of felt it didn't end particularly satisfying. A lot of people do like the show, in as much as it's, comparative to other CW shows, it's a lot better. But at the same time, I just didn't find enough for me to return for season 2. So, yeah, it's the best I can kind of give it.
Yeah, for me, Swamp Thing was like that. Okay, so Swamp Thing was like, they're still Greg Berlanti shows, but they're made a little better. Like Doom Patrol is a show I mostly like. There's some horrifically woke episodes that are cringe, but I like most of the show. It's very Grant Morrison's Doom Patrol.
Mm-hmm.
And then Swamp Thing started out pretty decent. It started out okay, and then it went just completely fucking woke. All in one season, it just took this giant left turn, and then they cut production too. So they cut production of the show early. Teen Titans is something I reviewed. I wanted to be good. I'm a giant Teen Titans fan. Starfire looked like shit. So I was already, and then fuck Batman. I was just like, oh, fuck. And then I realized it had, Star Trek Discovery writers on it. And, Akiva Goldsman. And I like the look of Robin. There's actually a 1/6 scale. That's the only thing that could come out of it. I didn't watch any of the next seasons. Maybe they got better. But I was reviewing it with Trent and I didn't like it. So there's different levels of CW shit. And that Stargirl, I didn't watch it, but it was on that next level. That's better than the stuff that's on the actual CW. I heard mixed things about Stargirl. WG for $106. Howdy, by the way. Thank you, WG, for $106. Howdy, gang, donating $1 for every time Gary dropped the C word during today's show. I may have inflated the number slightly, cunt. Cunt, yet echoes in my virgin ears, cunt. You just wouldn't stop saying it. Bad, Gary, bad.
Oopsies.
Oopsie doopsies. Zathras. Nobody listens to Zathras.
Nobody listens to Zathras.
No one listened to. Never mind. Thank you for the $1. Human Kirk for $1. Send my regards to Mama Susan. We will. Will Meldman for $15 says, keeping it real as always, gents. Someone has to call out the MCU, Dr. Karen Kennedy, and all the others. Praying this woke wave will pass with little hope. Nerdrotic and FNT for life. Oh, thank you, my friend. Here's the deal. We're gonna win. We'll win. This shit cannot last forever. It's only gotten worse. And I said, just based on trends I've seen in the past, although this trend has bucked a lot of things, and I think I think this trend has artificially been pushed over the last couple of years. It probably should have been gone a couple of years ago. But my God, it is getting so bad.
Oh, it was on the verge of dying before the Coof came along.
Yep.
And then the Coof came along and it got a resurgence. But wokeness was dying then, big time. It was nearly done.
But it's really dying. And as we have bigger concerns in the world, I mean, pray for Australia. There's camps in Australia. And I worry about you.
The videos, holy shit.
I worry about you up in Canada with Fidel Castro Jr. there.
Yeah.
It's interesting up here.
But we will win. We've got work to do. Eric July put that tweet up a couple of days ago. Could not agree more. We have work to do. And Dan C. Crazy thing is, Chibs thinks he's a clever writer, says 619YZ for £2 British. Yeah, he does. And he isn't. He's a Dumas. Mr. Dumas. Disco Cobra for Disco Cobra 2013. I'm personally curious as to how many series franchises will have to die because of woke politics and agenda pushing narratives. Will it ever end?
They're almost out of franchises. So yeah,
franchises.
I believe it's Back to the Future that's left because Babylon 5 is about to fall.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so you got Back to the Future. So you got one major franchise left. That's literally it.
Autumn Mirabellis for $9.99. Hail, Gary, Az, and Bulls Trek. Love you all. I gave up on Doctor Who and fuck it, and decided to make my own stories based on Tom Baker's Curator. Ooh, I like that. I'll send you a copy once I publish. I tweeted the cover to you all. Excellent. The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Now here, I want to get, you did one earlier, so we'll get them both. Let me scroll down. Oh, Jack White's here. What's up? You lot must watch One Piece already. I have got a box full of One Piece volumes to get through. And I mean, wait till my toxic mailbag that's going to come out in the next couple days from now, maybe Thursday, hopefully by Wednesday. It is incredible what somebody sent me, like an instant, like I'm an instant weeb.
Insta weeb kit.
Insta weeb. David Tennant is my doctor, says Horace Dunn for $5. Jack White says, what are your thoughts on the new chairman of the board of Disney? Not much. I mean, they didn't give it to Chapek. They give it to a woman. Not surprised. I think they wanted to have a female chairman of the board.
Sure.
Qualified. Why not?
Why not? Why not? I mean, that's going to save everything.
Yeah.
I mean, they put out a fucking advert for a Battlestar Galactica fucking hotel. The font was fucking Battlestar Galactica. The thing looked like Star Trek. The actual corridors. You had a fucking soccer mom walking around some goddamn man boy and telling him what he wanted. That's Disney. That's Disney nowadays. They don't understand Star Wars at all.
Coincidentally, Bulls Trek, while we were roasting it on Friday Night Tights, within minutes of us roasting it, they removed it. They deleted the tweet. They removed the video. Would I dare I say we were solely responsible? I think maybe straw that broke the camel's back. I think we could say that. The timing is curious. It could be complete coincidence, I'm sure. But there were other people who were roasting it prior to us. So.
Yeah, but when you're pointing out on the roast that you're trying to sell this hotel to people and 90% of the shit you're showing is concept art.
Yeah.
And you want to charge them $6,000 for a 2-day stay for $4? And all we've got is fucking art. All we've got is concept art. Fuck out of here.
$6,000 on the brink of a recession.
Jeez,
insane. And by the way, with the Omicron fucking variant fears out there.
Hey, did you hear, by the way, that cold weather can cause blood clots and heart problems, heart attacks?
That's amazing.
That came out from the doctors. So be careful of that cold weather, folks.
I guess I'm dead.
Vaccinated.
I got a blizzard outside my window now.
Oopsies. It's all right. If you're unvaccinated, you're fine. But if you're vaccinated, then that cold weather might give you problems.
The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS podcast for $5. I go live in Traveling TARDIS in less than 3 hours to do a watch party and review. To tell you the truth, I'm cringing and haven't even seen it yet. It's fucking terrible, dude. And it's not even like woke terrible or preachy terrible, although it's got a couple of just cringe moments. It's
garbage.
It's bad. It is just.
It's written by a child. It was written by a fucking child.
A child. And then he also says, Christian also says, as Gary podcaster, formerly known as Bulls Trek, you're more than welcome to come on the show in an hour and watch my cringe reactions. Will it be on YouTube? I might be able to poke in and watch it on YouTube, but I've got to, okay.
I would have already hung myself by then, I'm afraid.
Yeah. So, I Christmas decorate. You could probably barely tell in this craziness of a room, but I Christmas decorated. I put lights on my comic rack, and there's more lights back there. And we put up the tree and everything. So after we put up all the Christmas decorations, Mrs. Nerdrotic starts packing. Like it's real. It's happening. She has a bunch of empty boxes outside my door, and she was all, put your DVDs in there. I'm like, I haven't even done a room tour yet. Well, I have to do a room tour tonight, and then I got to pack up the room. It starts getting packed up. It's real. It's happening. We're moving.
Yeah, baby.
She doesn't mess around. She's like, okay,
good girl.
We're just gonna have decorations up. So speaking of that, I'm gonna read a couple more, and then we gotta dip out, and I'll get the rest on I try to get as much as I can. I was at Gallifrey 1 last year, a huge Doctor Who convention. Gallifrey 1, yeah, the one in LA. Unlike other property specific cons, I've been to where the hardcore fans insist a show is good as ever. Everyone at Galley 1 agreed Doctor Who was in a bad place. Chris Nicholson for $20. Yeah, Gallifrey 1's a big deal. It used to sell out all the time.
Yep.
And it didn't the last few years. I'm surprised they even had it this year. And it's Galley 1 is a big deal. So yeah, and everybody agrees it's in a bad place. They don't all agree on where it should go. There are some out there who think there should be another female doctor. It's done.
No, the doctor's a man.
Yep, yeah. Doctor's a man.
I'm now. I wasn't saying that before, but for now, yeah, it's. Yep.
Hell, I want
again. I'm not ranting this one, I promise you, Gary. But okay. we have not got to stop being scared, or the people that are doing this, stop being scared of specific gender roles. The Doctors prove themselves to be a specific gender role just because we have a group of fucking people that want to fucking pretend that they're fucking giraffes and fucking insects and all this kind of fucking stuff and Zias and weers and beers and heers on their fucking pronouns. It doesn't fucking matter. That's just a fucking trend which is going around amongst a youth which is losing direction because the media, mainstream media, is destroying the fucking family unit. So they've got nowhere to turn. They've got no role models to turn to. They're fucking lost. Absolutely lost. So we've got to stop fucking pretending that any fucking gender, the two that exist, can play a specific character. No, the Doctor's established male. That's how this one works. You want to create a female Time Lord? You go do that. You go do that. You want to create a female hero Time Lord, a hero villain Time Lord? You go do that. But the Doctor is a man. Yeah, they have plenty they could have used, but it's not about taking what exists. It's about usurping what exists. It's about taking away from what exists, and it's about taking away that masculinity from the Doctor and that maleness from the Doctor, and it's about taking away that whiteness from the Doctor. And we've got to stop again, and we've got to stop fucking. Okay, maybe a little bit of a rant. We've got to stop fucking apologizing. I am not apologizing for being a straight white fucking male. That's who I am. Just like somebody who's a straight black male doesn't have to apologize for that, or a fucking white gay female doesn't have to apologize for that. We are who we fucking are. We're not a collective. I'm not into collectivism. This is fucking horseshit. And the Doctor is who he is, which is a straight white male Gallifreyan. And that's what they should be going forward. You want to create something different, create something new. Don't usurp something which exists.
Because you can't sell your ideology on its own. So that's why they have gone through and systematically destroyed all the franchises, because they can't sell this bullshit on their own. And to anybody who backs it or any of our detractors, I don't give a shit.
Well, I remember Doctor Who tried it. Remember Class? That was their attempt at doing this as a separate franchise. And that's why we got this, because that flopped horribly.
Because they didn't understand. So they wanted to get the Harry Potter crowd, but they already did. They already got it.
Yeah.
Especially here. That was part of the resurgence in California. Was Harry Potter ended in 2007 with the books and 2011 with the movies. And where do you think that fandom went? They went to Doctor Who. A lot of them did. They rediscovered it. They discovered it through Netflix and everything else. And it had a huge part of it. Class was bad. But yeah, all of us sexists who watch the Sarah Jane Adventures, show. Fuck, it's bullshit. So they're full of crap. They know it. I mean, we have, again, our detractors connecting us to QAnon and all kinds of, like, they are just pulling shit out of their fucking asses because they've got no fucking argument. And none of these little pussies have fucking reached out to any of us through DMs or anything to talk to us. No, they just say their shit. They do their theater and they move on. But the thing I always take exception is going after you guys. I don't give a fuck what you say about me. Again, don't care. Never cared. We'll do one more and then I gotta bounce. So we did Chris Nicholson, Autumn. I did Autumn. I know. We've got more down here. I read that one. Thomas Scott. Dream Lord created the 13th Doctor as torture device for the 11th Doctor. Then we start from 12th regeneration. Dark Eyes was awesome. I love Dark Eyes. I did. First one. And
the only problem I have with Dark Eyes is how many times did I have to hear Tardy Box? Aside from Tardy Box, I love that set. Well, those 4 sets.
Yep. Okay, gentlemen, thank you for staying this whole time. Again, I'll get the rest in a square up. It'll be in my very next square up. The
Doctor's straight because they had a family. They had a wife. They had children.
Yes.
Granddaughter.
It's not baseline bisexual or any of that shit. But to repeat, to go off what Az said, Az is fucking 1000% right. We need to stop giving a fuck what people think. They're trying. It's all part of the art of deception and the art of war to keep you off balance, so you have no foundation. You're always on the defensive. You're this, you're that. You go, no, I'm not. I've got these friends and that. No, none of it. You don't need qualifiers. You don't need any of that shit. They're lying. They know it. All you need is the truth. That's all you need is the truth. Nobody's got a secret fucking agenda other than Hollywood and the entertainment industry. Fans, you know what my secret agenda is? I want good fucking Doctor Who. There. I have told you my secret agenda. For the entire channel, I want good entertainment. If it's good, I'll say it's good. If Az thinks it's good, he'll say it's good. Same with Bowles Trek, and we'll do videos on it. Show me something good. Do something, make something good. They haven't made anything good. It's been horrific. The ratings, all the data proves us right. Plus just watching this shit. And coming out and supporting it. Like, again, you can support something bad because you like it for whatever charming reason, but there's no even charming reason like Nicolas Cage being Nicolas Cage and Ghost Rider in this garbage Doctor Who. Nope. The only enjoyment I get is getting thumbnails from Jodie's fucking facial expressions, which is easy, to be honest with you. All right. So guys, thanks for hanging in there. Thanks everyone in the audience. Thanks to the Nerdrotics. And I'll read the rest of the Doctor Who stuff on the Nooner. Mañana. Tomorrow. Mañana. Bowles Trek. Is there anything you would like to plug? Any future plans, or are you just going to survive the blizzard?
Well, yeah, right now I'm in the middle of a blizzard, so I'm hoping I'm not going to die. Knock on wood. Coming up, well, I have to review the last episode of this anal leakage, so I will be doing that at some point this week. Then in January, I'm doing different things. I'm mainly going to be a horror review channel, but I'm still going to include the occasional video on this. Rebranding, but deciding exactly what I'm going to do. I may keep the Bowles Trek name as part of it. I may not. I got yelled at before the stream started, right, guys?
Yep.
But no, I'm deciding what I want to do. But I'm going to be doing. Here's a novel idea. I'm actually going to be discussing things that I like, which I haven't done in years. And although the Talking Goat is going to review terrible horror movies, so that's coming too. So changing things. Haven't decided yet. Been trying to figure it out for a few months, but something new will come in January. So I'd just like to thank Gary for having me again, as awesome as always, and all y'all that came up. So hopefully I don't freeze to death.
Same.
Cheers, my friend. What adventures do you have coming up this week?
Well, Tuesday, tomorrow, because we deal with a lot of shit. So I tried to do some positive stuff as well. Tomorrow, 8 p.m. UK time, myself, Nina Infinity, Literature Devil, and Mandy Summers will be discussing the anime great movie Perfect Blue, which is an absolute doozy of a film. Tuesday, Gary and I will be on my channel with Mauler for the Real BBC, joined this week by the Critical Drinker as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, baby. So we're going to have a good time then. Wednesday is the toy show. We'll show off the toys, go into all our lovely manlet stuff, which we adore. Again, another positive thing. Crazy how many positive things we do. Thursday, another positive stream on my channel. Where Robert Meyer Burnett and myself discuss episode 6 this week of Squid Game, and we'll be joined by Mauler for that one as well. Maybe someone else too. I need to confirm. And then Friday Night Tights, which is always a great time right here on Nerdrotic's channel. So yeah, for all the shit that we have to sift through, a lot of fucking good, fun, positive stuff there for everyone as well.
Friday Night Tights.
Yeah, baby.
Zuby and Drew Hernandez.
Wait, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I love me some Zuby.
Yep. So it's going to be a hell of a fucking show.
Howie. Oh my God, that could be a huge show.
Somewhere during the week, I'm going to catch up on Star Trek Discovery. Definitely gonna do
Yeah. Good luck.
Video. Gonna do some Nooners. Of course, I'll be on the Real BBC on Az's channel. And tomorrow on the Nooner, a couple of announcements. One of them being the San Diego meetup on the 16th. I'm gonna give you the location. It's a karaoke bar down in near Mission Valley of San Diego. And I'll give you the location. I've already given the location where I'm going to be seeing the movie, which is the 4:30 show at the Mission Valley AMC. I do have a very limited amount of tickets that will go up tomorrow. First come, first serve RSVP. Mrs. Nerdrotic will be handling the RSVP. I tried to buy a whole theater full of tickets, and they wouldn't let me. They just no, it was kind of fucking dumb, but they wouldn't let me. So I got a row. That's all I got. But if you can get tickets for around that time or at the same time, they're adding shows all the time. And then you can come to the event afterwards. It's my goodbye to San Diego because I'm leaving. So, and I want to say, if you want to get a chance to say goodbye, we're going to have some giveaways and stuff. We got some merch to pass out and give away, and we're just going to have a good time. Maybe even sing some karaoke shit. You never know. Yeah. Andre Ortega, what do you think of Rowan Atkinson's Doctor Who? I like it.
Curse of the Fatal Death.
Curse of the Fatal Death is great. Written by Stephen Moffat.
Yeah, by Moffat. Yeah.
Hail chat. You are the hope of the world. Do your duty, says Dan C for £5. You're not wrong. I said this on Friday Night Tights when Disney pulled that fucking video. You are the power. You are the power here, not us. We're simply a conduit. And you guys enforce speaking your mind, being fearless, not bending the knee. It's inspiring. It's fucking inspiring. That's why I love the meetups. I can't wait to get Daz to one eventually. And, if you ever do one Bulls Trek, try it. You get to meet a couple of people or a few people or sometimes 100 people. And you see what our audience looks like, and it looks like the world.
Normal people.
Yeah.
Looks like
it's if they ever make it not a complete nightmare to travel, not only outside my country but inside my country, I would love to. So at some point when I'm allowed out of jail, yes.
Yeah. All right, thanks again, everyone. R.I.P. Doctor Who. The Doctor was born on Gallifrey. Is there any other ones we can think of right now? Hartnell's the first.
Hartnell number one.
Hartnell number one. Russell T Davies. In closing, there's only one thing that matters. There's two things that matter. Hartnell is the first. Doctor is born on Gallifrey. Take care, everyone.